trying to troubleshoot something during all of that. It's been a day. Can we have a snow day tomorrow, please?
Yeah.
Hi,
After the day I've had, I want a snow day tomorrow.
that's what everybody's saying. Must have been a bad day today.
What are all the
We
kids
were at-
doing here,
We
Clara?
were at Coswell for the preschool Santa breakfast. 2 preschoolers threw up.
Oh my gosh.
I had to send it.
Here, call the December 18th Washington Bruce Romeo Parks and Recreation and Star Transportation Commission meeting to order. It is 6:11 according to my watch, and let's do the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Billick.
Here.
Ms. Dembski is absent.
Approved absence.
Here,
Huh?
Approved, yeah.
Okay. Ms. Geddard,
Here,
Mr. Carey.
Here.
Okay. Adoption of the agenda. Does anybody have any additions, deletions to the agenda?
no.
No? Okay. Motion
Motion to adopt the agenda as is.
second?
to- All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty. And treasurer's report. Did you want to say something? Or are we done?
Well, this is just for the consent agenda.
Okay.
Is that right? Or do you want me to?
Well, they have it up there, but probably should be down here, but that's okay.
Okay, I can talk about that.
Okay.
So in regards to the investment committee, we've decided to defer our decision on reinvestment of the maturing CDs in January until our January meeting, where we can gather some additional information regarding final numbers and cash flow. So our recommendation to the commission is to defer the decision on that until January.
Legal counsel. Anything there?
Well, we have to.
Oh.
Did you approve, you approved the consent agenda?
Oh. So that was a motion?
Well, I can make a motion
motion.
to approve the consent agenda as is.
No, we did that.
We did that.
Now
We need a,
we need a motion to
motion
approve
to approve
the
the-
rollover or
Yeah.
the.
Oh,
Defer-
a
The
motion,
investment
I gotcha.
committee's recommendation.
okay. A motion to approve the investment committee's recommendation.
Second. Roll call?
Okay. Mr. Billick.
Yes.
Ms. Duda,
Yes.
Geddard,
Yes.
Mr. Carey.
Yes.
Should one of the alternates be?
Yeah, actually, well, Donna's the Bruce Township.
Is Michelle from Bruce?
No.
She's Washington.
Tom,
Yeah.
Tom.
Tom.
You're up, buddy.
You're up, buddy.
He's like, yes.
Sit in the big chair.
One day I'm gonna meet the big guy, I hope.
Well, there's one at both ends, so.
I'll take the one that's air conditioned. Thank you.
You want to add Tom to the roll call?
Yes, I've already done that.
Oh, you're on top of things.
All right,
Okay, so we are at taking a vote on the investments.
if I, for a moment, I have a guest with me tonight, and that's Tina. And Tina has signed up for our Citizen Connection Committee, so
Oh, great.
Awesome.
she's a former teacher, which is great for our committee. We need somebody that has that perspective, so
You bet.
thank you.
She was
Sorry
my
to take the
former
time.
second grade,
I'm sorry.
Oh, very
Wow.
cool.
Yes, she told me.
and she remembers me.
That's great, I love it.
Just, okay,
Now we're taking. roll call.
Yes.
yes.
Oh, no, I just, so Mr. Matthews, I need to add your vote to the motion. Did you hear it?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. All right. Now we're all set.
Okay. Dan, did you have anything?
I do. Actually, there had been a inquiry regarding the role for alternates at the meeting, both when there's an absence and when there's a full complement of the commission. And, the rule is that an alternate is only serving in a voting capacity if there is an absence of the particular commission member that they're sitting for. But that, as the interlocal agreement says, the alternates are welcome to participate and are welcome to comment on matters that are before the commission, but not have an actual vote in the commission absent them being seated for that particular meeting. So hopefully that helps.
Yes.
People understand the role of the alternate and how they're serving. Certainly there, as expressed in the interlocal, there's a desire that the alternates participate as much as possible.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question in that regard. Is it possible, and I'm new to this, you know that, is it possible that the alternate or alternates can be called upon to investigate a certain situation and report back to the collective commission?
Well, I would say through the chair, they always are able, like any member of the public, to provide public comment during the commission meeting. There's a specific part of the agenda that allows for public comment. And I don't know if we've necessarily had the practice when there's the commission comments that are on the agenda. Perhaps the commission might want to have an additional entry for alternates who are present to participate and weigh in. That's something you can think about. As it relates to them, an individual alternate studying an issue, certainly they have that, and they can't provide that feedback to the commission during public comment, or they can submit communication to the director who would circulate that to the commission.
All right, thank you.
But that raises alternates who might have ideas regarding commission business can share that information with both the executive director and the commission at large. But I encourage you not to engage in emailing back and forth at the commission level, because you don't want to run afoul of the Open Meetings Act and make deliberations or decisions that are not in public. You're supposed to make your decisions in public. So you don't want to have emails that are going back and forth that constitute a dialogue or deliberations. I suggest that you avoid that. And so one way to try and make sure that you don't inadvertently fall into that habit would be to potentially direct the communications to the director to circulate, or direct them to Bob, the chair, and he can circulate.
Or in the context of the meeting?
Certainly always at the context of the meeting.
Yeah, okay, that way it makes it...
Between meetings.
Yeah, that makes it clear that way. The OMA is satisfied, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay, that's great, thank you.
Yes.
And also because you're a committee chair, so if you have information to impart that relative to that committee, then you will always be on the agenda to make a committee report if you want to.
All right, then it's official at that point.
So, yes, so then it comes to us.
That's great, thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
So for example, documents were sent out for comment. I commented and sent it back to everybody. I should actually correct. Yes.
You can send it to everybody, but the risk is that everybody then says, well, I want to add this part,
Yeah.
and then they send it to everybody, and then the next person says they want to add a clause or paragraph, and you're then evolving with a deliberation and business that should be done in the public.
Okay, I will.
Is that it?
Yes, it is. That's
All
it.
right, thank you, Dan. Public comments. Guys, got anything back there? All right.
I'm sure that gets in the minutes.
Yes.
Good one.
And that's HAAA. New business, director's report. Clara, you're up.
So 8A
Oh,
is the Eventure HR PTO,
and we have Amber here.
and we have Amber here. And she's gonna kind of come up and tell us what has been happening.
Okay. So, over the course of the last few months, specifically September is when we started the discussion with the team. So Anna Mormon was a discussion, Val, and myself, and looking at the current handbook and what we were looking at. And as we talked before, we wanted to start with the PTO policy. So that was the direction that we went with. That will then go into the major handbook that is going to be crafted here soon. So in summary, Claire and I were discussing, what that looks like, kind of looking at the policies in general. Where it ended up at is part of the time off policy. So understanding that the company's PTO policy is April 1st through March 31st. So I'm looking at should be in the packet, but the PTO time off policy changes. In general, there is a significant hours that were accrued under the compensatory time off policy buckets. After being reviewed and looking at this, what we're saying is basically there's two different types of language for the rollovers and for the allotment of the total time to be maximized. One of it is the full-time employees, so just moving to the bottom. So full-time employees, all salaried or full-time employees, both regular and seasonal, PTO balances are front-loaded. This is also going into act with the ETSA law. So there's the Michigan ETSA law, which is a sick time leave act as well. So looking at that whole complex. So full-time regular employees are based on years of service. What was highlighted and suggested here was the new language carryover is allowed up to 80 hours, no payout of the remaining unused carried over hours. There also has the full-time regular schedule from a 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 3 to 5, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and it has 120, 145. So the starting balances start off at 120 hours all the way up through 280 hours for paid time off for the entire year. Again, that year is from April 1st through March 31st. Throughout the policy that was edited from the current handbook, it just kind of gives a lot of clarity. It gives the objective and purpose. It gives the responsibility. So as we highlighted here, it says it is the responsibility of the Human Resource Department to manage the policies that have been approved by the commission. But it is the responsibility of the managers to adhere to those policies. So we clarified a lot of that language too. Okay. Let's see. Upon separation of employment, there is two options. So under the language, upon separation of employment, part-time employees will not be compensated for any accrued yet not taken PTO. Full-time employees may be compensated for any accrued yet not taken PTO for up to 360 hours. What we're saying here is the new language option A, upon separation of employment, employees will be compensated for any unused, accrued, yet not taken PTO. Or option B, upon separation of employee, part-time employees will not be compensated for any accrued yet not taken PTO. Full-time employees may be compensated for any accrued yet not taken PTO up to 360 hours at 60% of the hourly rate or the equivalent if salaried. So it's giving options on how to finalize, how the commission would like to finalize what that looks like. So 2 different options, language options are here. At the end of it, we also went through the part-time employees, which is the majority of the population. We got a lot of part-time employees. So looking at the next page of this is that part-time employees are eligible to accrue up to 72 hours of PTO per year and are issued on an accrual basis. So that would be in compliance with the ETSA law as well. Part-time employees' PTO is earned at a rate of 1 hour for every 30 hours worked. Part-time employees' PTO may be taken at the approval of the company based upon reasonable business. So we say any unused yet accrued PTO hours up to 72 hours may be carried over for the following benefit year. Okay, so it's allowing for some carryover, but it's also saying, okay, we're not going to say, I think it was 520 hours, I think was the max
So that
before.
wasn't carryover.
Carried over, yes. Okay, I didn't make that note, but that's what it was before. And that was the concern of like how much hours were carried over year over year over year. So what it is doing is it's putting in a line of how much is actually carried over is the objective here.
So just to clarify, these are your recommendations?
Correct. So it's more of like what options do we want to finalize with?
So, I know, just speaking for myself, it is a big change for the full-time employees to go from 520, I think it was, down to 80. So I think that that's one key point that
Correct.
is important for us to determine. I know that 80 is the standard, and that's probably why you guys recommended that. It's what I'm used to, but I think for the commission's purposes, it's important that we talk that piece out.
Correct, because it is a huge, and I know that was one of the concerns about how much, once the visibility was there, how many hours were rolling over year. Plus, and in an accounting section, being able to accrue for those potential payouts when those do happen is also then the cash flow side of it as well to take into account too. So it's looking at the whole picture, if you will. Anytime we're looking at PTO changes and employee side and the company sides, it's looking at the balance act in both parties. And what is the team comfortable with, being it was 520 prior? What is that comfortability? Is it 100% payout with certain rates, or it is a 60% out with up to certain amounts? That's the main numbers to look at that point.
Right. And then I think the other important point with the 2 options under the separation of employment, I think that the reason we came up with the full-time employees may be compensated for any accrued yet not taken PTO time up to 360 at 60% of their hourly rate is because Clara had done some research and sort of looked to see, I think she reached out to Bruce Township to find out what their policy was. She reached out to Washington to see what theirs was, because we don't want to go from a certain level and then drop all the way down, because we're at 360 right now for payout at the time of separation. So the reason we looked into this was because we were saying this was originally based on what Washington did. Where are they at now?
And
so that's sort of where we came up with the 2 options.
And we also have 2 other Parks and Rec local in the areas. And we looked at what theirs is as well, and kind of made a lot of the recommendation as well as those other Parks and Recs that we have. So it's just kind of giving you visibility of what it looks like.
And I'm sorry, what were those? Do you remember what they
West Bloomfield is one of them.
Okay.
And then, I have to look at the other one. I know West
Okay.
Bloomfield was one.
But what, as far as separation, what were they recommending?
There is a, I'm trying to remember offhand. One is there's no paid time off at all, and then one is, it is a percentage, but I don't know the exact
Okay.
hours, but it's a percentage of hours. And then
Okay.
the other Parks and Rec is 100, there's no payouts upon separation. And especially the language that they have in the handbook was involuntary separation. So misconduct, gross misconduct, attendance, that there's no payout at that point. So it's
Oh,
something else to consider if you want to say, well, voluntary, you leave on good terms. Involuntary, because of bad terms, no payouts. Yes, you get a payout. So you can also do it that way too. Something to think about there. So that could be another option in distinguishing voluntary versus involuntary too.
I would be curious to know what other commission members' opinions are on all of this.
I think if people have earned time off and separate, they should compensate
Okay,
at 100%.
okay,
The only thing that, from an accounting standpoint, there should be some cap. So that, you don't have this massive amount of buildup. I know we have a cap on ours and we pay out at 100% on separation. But yeah, I mean, the other part of it though is what I don't want or wouldn't want to see is people staying on in a leave mode until they're out the door. We've had that happen, and that keeps you from being able to fill a position. We've had that situation where, somebody, they got 6 months worth of leave built up, and they go on leave for 6 months. You can't do anything because they're technically still your employee. They're still on all the bennies and things like that. My recommendation on some of those things is that, if you're saying, I'm leaving, put a date on it, and that's the day you leave, and you get paid out. But
so playing devil's advocate, since we're front loading vacation time and say there's a 15-year employee, if they work till January 2nd, and then they put in their time, I assume we would have to pay out 280 hours of that time,
Yes.
right?
Yes, because it's front loaded.
But
that's
I guess it
something-
would solve that.
And then putting
Problem.
specific language in as well. So when there's specific language to say, and we spell this out on different policies, but like a leave of absence policy or FMLA, you must use time in conjunction with, that way you can't go on 12 weeks of maternity and then come back and I'm off for another 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So you say
Okay.
you have to use it in parallel. So that's another policy, but it kind of all bundles up to how you want the foundation to be as far as that time policy goes, or the vacation time, the compensatory time, those things. All the other ones around it roll into this policy. That's why we started here first.
But FMLA is not necessarily
It's not paid, but you can say, hey, you got to take this at the same time that you are taking FMLA in like
just
conjunction.
to prevent somebody from using unpaid FMLA after.
Yeah.
Who would want to?
Trust me, there's a lot.
Our time earned is based off previous years, so even though it's front-loaded,
Yes,
we have
Correct.
to work.
you've earned it.
Yeah, we've already earned it, so if I worked 6 months and then I get that week was earned on the previous 6 months.
Right.
If I'm at 1 year and I get 2, I worked that year.
So that's why it's that scale.
So even though it's all, we basically already worked time to earn it.
It really isn't front-loaded.
Right.
It's just giving it to you all at once
Giving it
instead
to
of
you all at
accrual per hour worked.
And we just switched to that accrual for hours in our union time.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Regarding is using comparators such as you mentioned Bloomfield.
Mhm.
What, if any, could we use a comparator that's closer geographically, such as Shelby or Sterling Heights? Would that be of some benefit to do it that way?
Yeah, if you guys want to look at it and see just what the other Parks and Recs, even just in our little Macomb County is doing, I can call in some of the HR reps that I know over there in the other areas and get more data, and then see and make a decision based upon that. I mean,
just
there's
a-
so many ways you can literally
Sure.
slice all of these policies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I just say that I think that all of the employees are speaking for them, and tell me if I'm wrong, but we all understand this and how we're moving forward and come to terms with all of, because we've had it a certain way for a long time. Our biggest concern, honestly, is what we've earned, that this no payout of the remaining unused hours that we've earned already. I mean, that's the concern. We know that.
So you're saying if we change the policy,
We know that we will never have rollover hours unless the 80 hours is agreed to. But the hours that we already have in our bank that we consider like hours, like we're hoping that they're just not thrown away, or there's a way to give us the opportunity, spread it across 2 years, pay us for some of it, do
You're saying
whatever.
current year-to-date right now. You're talking about the.
Year to date,
yeah.
yeah, right now. So any that have, right or wrong in anybody's eyes, have how it was set up before, rolled over with us as we went, as we earned and rolled over as we went. We would like to look at,
Like a transition
Well,
period is
I
what
would
you're
think
looking at,
any-
like a
any
transition.
change that we make, that we would have to have a transition
Yes.
period
Yes.
going from one to the other.
oh, well, this sentence is a little scary, just
And-
like.
yes, I agree,
gone.
I agree with what you're saying. But I think what's important for us to know is how much would that cost
Right,
Parks and Rec
And
to
I
do
mean-
that?
I mean, we can look at, a variety of things, like you said, depending on how much it costs, we could do a one-time buyout of that. We could spread it out over several years or something like that, as an allocation each
or
year.
the time even. I mean, I know that the time costs money whenever it is spent, but if it's spread out across a couple of years, if you allow the grandfathered people who have some hours to, instead of if the 80 hours is agreed to, agree that above and beyond the 80 hours, we can take an extra 2 weeks until it's gone, or, so if it's year 4, or maybe just 2 years of it and then pay out the other one so it doesn't hit the budget so much. I don't know. Not exactly sure how to do it. We just put a lot of our heart and soul into this department, so those, I don't know.
Well, I think everybody realizes that.
We just,
Yeah.
well, that sentence doesn't feel
Right.
warm and fuzzy.
Well,
It
yeah.
feels painful. I mean, we, again, right or wrong, no matter how it has been, and we've accumulated and been non-exempt employees, or now we are exempt. I mean, it's a big change for everybody to get used to. I'm just speaking from.
No,
Yeah, and exempt and
Totally
non-exempt, for
understand.
those that don't know, it's that line in the sand of administrative tasks, being salaried, not eligible for overtime, and non-exempt is hourly eligible for overtime. So just for the record.
so I guess, again, I think I kind of gave my opinion. What do you guys?
I mean, I like the idea of looking and seeing what the actual number is. Because for everybody to come and say, I have this many hours to pay out one lump sum to everybody at the same time would could not be good for the budget. To figure out a way to spread it out. Because I do think it's time to earn, we don't want to take away from what has been earned, changes for the future, but yeah, find a way to spread it out so it's not a loss for the current full-time people, so they're not losing anything, but that it also isn't going to hit the budget too hard either. To kind of figure out what that number is so we can look at the best way to balance it.
I think that's fair, they shouldn't
Yeah,
lose anything.
should never
Yeah.
lose
Yeah,
anything.
gotta figure out a way to take care of that.
Donna?
Certainly distinguishing between new and existing, but you could, put a limit on how much they can take here.
Right.
You certainly don't want to force all their vacation in that.
No, Parks and Rec
Yeah.
cease to run.
Yeah, another issue.
Out of your remaining hours, you can take up to an additional a year.
Could it,
Yeah.
I mean, could it be something you take an additional, so you can either take an additional so many per year, either choose to take them or be paid out for them per year?
Yeah, we can
Could be
make
the
any
option.
suggestions.
Whatever works out best for each particular
I
person.
think the other thing, I mean, it's a little bit off topic, but we need to look at why. Why employees have so much. Are we understaffed? Do we need?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To
it's like-
prevent this as we're moving forward.
To feel like they have all those accrual hours
Right.
because
Well, and it's taken
they
the time.
aren't always there
Right.
because,
They have to be.
yeah.
Well, as a benefit, vacation and all of this is for a reason. It's
Right.
for the wellness of the mental side of it, to say, I'm stepping away and I'm taking a vacation and time off. So that's the intentions when companies in Parks and Recs in the municipalities say, okay, here is your time off, that's what it's intended. When it does build up, it becomes more of that bonus feature, if you will. Which is, it's still a good benefit, but it's at the end of the day, it's how do we want to balance the benefit too?
We just medicate.
Zombies.
I mean, since, maybe I'm out of line, but since the affected employees, most of the affected employees are here. You guys have anything, input you want to put in? Oh,
You want me up there or here?
sure, just don't hit Amber.
Bump me over.
I don't even know Amber. I'm Becky, I'm one of the full-time employees.
Haven't met you yet. Seen emails.
I just have a couple of concerns. One is the date. Like on the top of that proposal or whatever it is, it says that this is effective come January 2nd or something like that. That's a little concerning, just to have that out in the
Yeah, it would
open.
not be, it's just a clarity, it would not be January 1st. This was like the template that we started with, created in September. We would
It's
definitely
just an
change the policy,
observation,
yes.
and it's not, if it's on the paper, it's
Yeah.
on the paper, so
Yeah.
that's a concern. Second concern is verbiage. There's a couple places where it says maybe or something like that. I'm not really a big fan of the word maybe. If we're being concrete, we need to be concrete, and we need to know what is happening. There's a maybe in there. and
Well,
I didn't-
is it maybe we'll do this, or is it an employee may be eligible?
No, I think the first word was maybe, like, but anyway, second, or the third thing is, let me think, there's something about holiday, and you can get paid for the holiday, but only if you work the day before the holiday and the day after the holiday, like, I don't like
Scheduled
that.
shift.
Like-
It's a scheduled shift. So that purpose, and it does say that, it says, to be eligible for holiday pay, you must be on the active payroll and work your full shift, the last scheduled day and the first scheduled day. So in essence, in practice, if you, we'll just use like an example, right? If you say, hi, Amber, I'm your supervisor, but you're scheduled, and here comes Christmas, and you're scheduled to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay,
But you decide to say, I'm out, I'm calling in, and I'm skipping, and I'm flying to Florida. And you called in and didn't work your scheduled shift that you were supposed to, then that holiday pay would not get paid out. That's that language.
So ahead of time, I
Yep.
could say I'm going on vacation and then I would get paid for that holiday
Yes.
if I'm gone before
Yep.
or after.
Yep, so it does
Okay.
say unless you have been excused by your supervisor. So it
Okay,
does say it there. So
okay,
that's in practice how it works.
Right.
And that prevents people to say, I'm out, I'm leaving, oh, but by the way, I still got holiday pay. So it helps with the scheduling feature to say, yes, it is a benefit, but please know you still gotta work your scheduled shift. You can't just call in because that's what the intent is there.
and when it comes to taking your sick or your, well, just PTO now,
Yeah.
is that the employee's responsibility to be clocking that and putting that in?
Yes.
Okay,
Once
and then
the
you
system-
just
yeah.
put it, you just request it somehow, some way?
Correct. So once
Okay.
this, and that has been one of the pain points with the team is just, there isn't the clock in, clock out of the time yet of the PTO because we don't have it finalized. That's why we were trying to get this one first. But once it is finalized, the employee's responsibility would go, say, submission. Supervisor would get the alert, approve or deny.
Okay.
Yeah.
And none of our PTO time has been
No.
put in yet? Okay.
I don't think, we loaded X,
Stuff for part-time
times, yes, for
and
part-time.
accurate, but no,
yeah, none of that side.
manually.
And I don't have as many hours, but I am a full-time employee. I've been there 13 years. I think I've been there 2 years before that. I kind of like made my way up in different departments. But I do think that you guys really need to consider who's been here for 20, 25 years, maybe more. And that's kind of, I hope that this has worked out for everybody.
Penny, you're up.
Penny Ganfield. Is this on? Oh, it is on. I gotta get up a little taller. I love your idea. I love for the stuff that we get to carry over, spreading it out, giving an option. Like I am one of those people that doesn't take all of my stuff because I have a lot of stuff. So I work a lot. What is the joke? It's our second home. Yeah. I said I need a bed in my office sometimes, but so being able to move that forward and say, okay, this year I'm not going to need it, so I have the option to maybe get paid for it until it's gone. I think that's a great idea because now I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to panic if I can't use it because I have some other stuff that I haven't even been able to touch yet because I've got so many programs. We've talked about it. We've grown so much so quickly. It's just up until this point realizing, oh my gosh, we need to do something. We have to hire. We have to get another coordinator in there so that I can do less at work or not less, I don't mean like that, but that I can take time and I don't feel like I'm, whatever, but
Instead of doing the work of 4 people by
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. But thank you. Okay, I think that's all I have.
And we know that you guys have always done that. We know that you guys have always done that. Worked. Well beyond your pay.
Lynn Walker, another full-time. I concur with everybody, what they were saying. I do like the ideas. Moving forward, I think it's great, that's fine. My only concern was typically what we were banked, you're probably looking at like 45, what they say days, but I think that goes to 360 in hours. So that's the most we could have ever held moving forward. So yes, it just, we've been there, I know I've been there 27, Penny's been there 28. So it's just the longevity. And we pride ourselves, and we love what we do, that type of thing. So, a consideration into those earned time, just because we've been there for a while, and a longevity, it's just not knowing your job. If we were to leave, the ship wouldn't sink, but it would tilt a little bit because then you're like losing some of that knowledge that over the years, that person, she just like Clara's like that, she already knows what's going on. She's already going to do it. She doesn't even have to ask. It's like already done. So, just having that consideration for the time, moving forward, but for the time that's there, however we can work it out, I'd appreciate that consideration. So that's all I got.
A manager's job is to train the replacement continuously.
It's so funny because that happened when I switched over. I did have help for quite some time until I got my sea legs. And then once I got it, it's good. But there's a lot that goes into it, as everyone knows, and everyone puts their time in. And, you know, vacation time, when you take it, it's hard. You still get calls and you still get texts, and, you know, so it's not being in the building or being at the program. It's just because you're a manager, everyone, you know, wants answers, you know, with buildings in the evenings, you know, and weekend work, you know, because we're not that typical 9-to-5 job. We're all over the place. You know, we can work late, we can work early, we can work weekends. So we're not that typical, you know, and we don't have typical shifts, so to speak. So, but that's what those days that we have had, that's only because we've been here for so long, you know? I mean, and then trying to take the time off, you know, it is difficult, or you use it. But, you know, growing up too, we didn't take as many vacations that year, so I didn't use that time. So it just we were able to bank that as we were told to when we followed our other handbook. So, you know, it wasn't wrong, it was just that's what we were following until we get something new. So, but any consideration for us old timers would be great.
We don't want you to go anywhere.
Well, I appreciate anything. So we love what we do. So, you know, we'll work
Where's
it
the ice
out.
rink?
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, by the way, yeah, we need to speak about that. That's 1,400 pounds of ice rink we unloaded. We started, it's there. I mean, we started clearing, we just got to get it over there.
All right.
Yeah, they're nice, big Lego
I think
pieces.
they're asking
For help?
They're nice, big, you know what, I'll let you know.
You got my number.
It's cold, you know, they get cold and they
manual
get
labor.
slippery, and they're big rectangle pieces.
But now that we know that you drive a Bobcat,
Oh, yeah, that
You're
would have been
in,
nice
like,
to know
Flint.
too.
that could have came in handy.
Thank you, thank you.
If I may, I had a thought as she was talking. Yes, I think that you need to see what the dollar amount would total at this point, or how much for each person of the long-term employees. But I was just trying to think of, well, how can we pay this out? So if you have those numbers as of a given date, and the 4 or 5, however many full-time employees there are that are in that situation, maybe we could pay one now, pay another one in 3 months, pay another one, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it could spread it out.
Spread out that, so that they're not waiting a really long time to get either their money or whatever. But yet we could, then you would have time to budget for the payments over a given period of time, as long as, you know, everybody didn't want to get their money on the same day. So,
And I would like to see us allow an option. Do you want payout, or do you want to use the time,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, at a future date? Some people are more interested in time, some people are more interested in money. The other thing is, though, again, we have to address the reason there is a lot
Yeah,
of bank hours.
absolutely.
And
In listening to them talk, you're absolutely right. There's obviously they have to work that many hours all the time, then, yeah, we need more personnel.
we know that.
I know,
Don't
I've
we?
been saying it,
Yeah,
but we definitely do. But see, this is the mindset now, though. You
Yeah.
go back,
you didn't have that mindset.
administrative
Yeah.
leave before, and it was get rid of. So, I mean, we eliminated,
The new date.
I say 3 years, 2, what did we figure out? Since we started. I mean, that's a lot of people and then grow, you know? So, there's a lot, yes.
So you guys actually did not go anywhere together in case there's an accident?
Ever. Right. So what am I- Where's important is
That also six, nope.
It's like the president and the
Just
vice
not a- yeah,
president
car.
can't fly on the
Yeah.
same
So
plane.
you guys are never allowed in the same car at the same time.
Right, right. Car or bar.
That's a wrap.
Okay.
I have a question. When any of this goes into effect, whatever goes into effect, whenever there's a decision made,
will it start our fiscal year, or will it be weird and start oddly, or would it start for our April fiscal year? I think that's all
We're
to
trying
be
to
determined,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
to be determined.
Originally, I think we were thinking fiscal year. But I know this was drafted with
Yeah.
that
Right.
date
Yeah.
because we were trying to make
Yes.
determinations for Paycor, correct?
Yes.
So that you guys could utilize the system properly.
Yes, because right now it's just all in limbo, because it's like every month it's getting tweaked and finalized with the entire team. So it's just getting a final of what that magic looks like is what the key is, of what that final determination is.
I guess I don't understand why we can't load the hours they have now, because even if it's gonna be paid out or they're gonna take the hours, those are the hours. that
We
they
can load
have.
it right now and program it, and then just come back to program it again.
Yeah, and then like if we change it the fiscal year, you can only roll over 80, you drop it
Yeah.
to 80, but you know you either have to pay out or they're gonna have this much. I think that might
Yeah.
ease some minds too.
There is,
I
yeah.
agree.
So what we
Yeah.
could do is just program it as is, and then look at it, come back with budgets, come back with the idea and concepts from Shelby. I know Rochester, the HR director over there. I know someone at Shelby. So I can pull in the HR directors, and then Harrison Township. I know someone personally, so I can pull those numbers, at least some more data in. They know the objective is, hey, this is old and we want to look at stuff that's new, but also take into consideration of the sensitivity of the whole entire package, if you will.
Right.
So we can do that, and then whatever the next meeting is, Clara, I can work with you and say, okay, what's that deadline? Where do we get a new amendment and options and reviews? You just tell me where we got a line there. And then we'll back up and do that and get the numbers from you we'll have the new amounts and rollovers and like the balances. We'll load that in from the past payroll system. Load that in, get a snapshot of what that numbers are, or what the dollar amount is, and then come back with the budget of what it may look like. And then that way, it's a little bit more visible too on impact and options.
And
When you're polling these other departments,
Mhm.
will you be able to see like what their staffing is like? I know like some parks and recs are heavy funded in their parks.
Correct.
So they may not have supporting, like they may not have what we have.
Mhm.
So will you be able to like get different ideas that way? Because that may differentiate
Yeah.
how they pay out, their time off and stuff as well.
Yes,
So
so,
we're really kind of different from others.
Correct.
Based on size, the way they're formatted. So, just
yeah,
something.
no, so I can get a holistic side, and I can tell you city 1, city 2, city 3, to kind of give you some general points, as much as the colleagues in my HR world will give me in payroll. But I think I can at least get some. I mean, I'm not gonna say I can get all of them around us, but I do know some in the area that I can count on. And get some more figures, if that helps make an idea of what the team wants to do.
yeah, I mean, I think ideally, we would want to roll this stuff out fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that means we need to get on it.
So April 1st.
And, I mean, outside of because I agree with that we should do something for the existing employees and the time that they've earned up until now. It's never, going into this process, it was never a goal to take anything
Correct.
away from anybody. Having said that, I don't think we realized how generous the policy was until all of the different sections of the book came together in one policy. And then it sort of was that aha moment. And we have to do what's going to, be sustainable long-term. So outside of, the concern of paying them out, do we have additional discussion that needs to be had in relationship to the other language in this particular policy that we should have now? Or do you see what I'm saying?
You mean,
I'm saying, do you have additional concerns outside of what you already discussed about payout of existing
well,
time?
again, what I said, I can't remember what I said now, but.
That they should get their
Yeah.
pay for the
Yes.
time they've earned.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that.
And now then, moving forward, we then have to look at what's the comfort level. We, again, need to address so that we're not continuing to have massive amounts of extra time being worked and not being able to be taken. You know, I mean, I think if we told them they had to take their time, they
Right.
wouldn't be able to do it and do their job. I mean,
Right, exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
it's already obvious that they can't take their vacation
Yeah.
time and do their job. Which is why we're here.
One thing that does, because we do our offices for Christmas, like we're painting and cleaning, and that's when we stop all our programming, and we have the ability to do that. So it will allow us to use some of our time that's there. So
Okay.
You mean you want to volunteer?
to,
Take
Use
your
some of
time
your
off and paint the building?
no, we
Is that what
don't
you're
know. We
That's
actually,
what I heard.
I think she wants the time off and not paint the building.
yeah,
Oh.
Takes the time off while other people are painting the building.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Gotta
But
clarify.
that's one. And then we have had discussions that we are definitely will be going out for, we need to look at another full-time programmer coming in, and afternoon, either, probably part-time for facilitating. And then working on the front office, getting some additional administrative help. From one. So,
There's a system. I already have somebody that said they wanted to do it.
yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you who it was.
Oh. That's because everybody thinks it's fun.
Make a motion to table.
Motion, yeah. So, and that's just for the one policy, right? Because you have others to go over?
Yeah, the other one was, so that's just the PTO, as we were looking at the whole entire.
Real
Yep,
quick,
go ahead.
before you do that, I'm just going to make a motion to table the time off policy till the January meeting,
January 22nd.
22nd.
I'd love to.
And then I guess everybody should have their thoughts
Yeah,
maybe written down,
yeah.
and I'll second. Oh, go ahead,
John?
John, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Go for it.
Okay. The other amendment, kind of just, again, rolling out the pieces of the handbook and to get eventually a bigger handbook done, was the flex time policy. It's a work in progress. Is really, when it comes down to it, the following, it says, working on utilizing flex time. Flex time does not accrue or bank time. It is not compensatory time, which public sector exempt employees are not eligible for under the FLSA. Flex time must occur within the same pay period as defined by RWB Parks and Recs. So we just, in general, pull it all together in order to be more compliant, if you will, especially because you have under the Michigan Emergency Management Act, PA 390, executive staff may be able or may be required to work variable hours and remain available during emergency, severe, and public safety events. So it's pulling that policy together. There wasn't a lot of huge changes that are going to affect the teams. It's just laying it out and being very clear in that flex time language.
So, are we talking like comp time?
So,
I know.
so
There's a few of them,
the
Rob.
reason this came up is because it was discovered that exempt individuals were utilizing comp time,
Correct.
which could contribute, I don't know if it does, but it could contribute to the reason there's so much carryover. Could, I don't know. But compensatory time was sort of being used, well, it was being used by exempt employees, which is not something that's allowed under Michigan state law.
I think for governmental employees, yeah.
For what?
I'll defer.
For governmental.
I'll defer.
Governmental employees, isn't there an exemption for that?
There is a municipality, but under the Michigan Emergency Management Act, executive staff may be required to work variable hours. So it is different languages because it's exempt, non-exempt, and then it's Parks and Rec, not city side. So it's that clarity.
Okay.
And I don't know for sure, I can't speak
Yep.
on Anna's behalf, but just in one of the meetings John and I were in, she called and spoke directly to a representative
Okay.
Correct.
who clarified that it is not to be used by exempt employees. So with that being said, we are adopting a flex time, or we need to adopt a flex time policy to still allow for those types of situations that come up where they might have to work on the weekend or after hours or 80 hours during the week of Peach Fest, for those various things that come up all the time. It's a part of their regular job. We're just trying to come up with a policy that would allow for them to
Be
work.
compensated.
Yes,
Correct.
right, exactly. So this was the way to do that. So, this would be managed primarily by Clara and/or the managers for exempt employees.
How often does that occur, and how much time would you?
That's a question for Clara.
Well, I mean, it's up and down, but it's fairly normal. We didn't know we were exempt employees before, or right or wrong. But, so we use comp. So if we work in the office doing the day-to-day with all of that, and then there's evening programs, meetings, Saturdays, I can't give you an exact number. I mean, we probably could figure out that number. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Working at home just to catch up, because you didn't have time at work to do what needed to be done. So, yeah.
So it's not like you're in industry when you're running a machine and everything's very precise. This is the opposite of that.
The absolute
Correct.
opposite.
Okay.
It is.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Because it can come and go.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
so-
Controlled chaos.
Yeah, yeah. It is,
Using the term controlled loosely.
yeah. That's definitely the word chaos. Organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was used a lot, and that is how we did accumulate, and, right or wrong.
Non-exempt employees can't work comp time either.
No, not exempt are just your straight hours
Right.
worked.
Right.
So if you're non-exempt, you're just working the hours. And then looking at that definition.
What about changing schedules to accommodate things? That kind of a no-no?
You can change schedules. So the rule of thumb is anytime you make changes, there's not a hard concrete law that says by this date you have this much. So, but rule of thumb, you want to at least give 60-day notices anytime there's a change, and just say, hey, these changes are coming at minimum, usually 30 to 60-day notices. That way it says, hey, these things are coming. Now, of course, a larger change, you'd probably want the later part of those scales. They're 60, 90. Sometimes I've seen 6 months worth of, hey, this is coming. So it's just setting a good timeline to say, hey, these are what's taking place.
I was thinking more on the line of, I'm not coming in today because I got to work twice tomorrow.
Oh.
Well, and so, I come from a different background, the more corporate world. So in that world, you're an exempt employee and you have a salary and you're making, a certain salary. And there were situations where we could do things like that because of our flex time policy. And so it's really up to the manager to manage it, to make sure that they're on top of where these individuals are and the hours that they're putting in. So it might be that you work 50 one week and 30 the next, or if it's in the
Correct.
same pay period, that's the
Correct.
important thing. Or you're working, 12 hours one day because of an event you have, maybe you're only working part of the day the next. But it's all.
Like a 7.5 or 8. Yeah.
It's all up to the manager to ensure that they're approving that and making sure that their people are still being effective and efficient and working the right amount of hours.
Now, since we're talking about just one PTO bucket, how does that get put into that too as well or not?
No.
I don't think it.
No, it's just a standalone to clarify, and that's why we like to, when we do our designs, we like to put them in bullet points, so it's just like very quick synopsis, but it's just saying, in general, flex time may, what do we say, must occur within same pay periods, time can be carried over to future pay periods as approved by an executive director. However, time cannot be banked or accumulated per wage regulations and exempt roles. We say flex time must be coordinated with the supervisor. Approval must be denied. It may be denied if it impacts public service safety under Michigan local government mandates. And then supervisors may restrict or revoke flex time due to operational demands, facility coverages. Flex time cannot be used to extend municipality holidays or cumulative paid leaves.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm okay with, I don't have many questions or concerns regarding this particular policy. I'd like to make a motion to pass this policy or approve it, unless there's questions
Which
or
one is that?
concerns. The
Flex time,
Flex
Flex
time?
time?
just the flex time one.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's not much that we can say about it
Right.
anyway.
Yeah, it's not really,
In order to be
Legally,
compliant,
yes,
this
yeah.
is what we have to go to.
Yeah.
So,
It's just a shift in thinking and mindset, and
okay. I'll second that. Did you make a motion?
I did make a motion, yes.
I'll second that. All in,
Is this taking place April 1st? Because this has to deal with our previous conversation?
Well, I think on this one, my opinion is this one has to happen right away because it allows you the ability, because you can't legally, now that we're all aware, we can't legally utilize comp time.
But we can use so we are no longer, so this goes back to the conversation we had prior. Our hours are comp. So if I have minimal, do not want me to use them, I'm gonna get paid out.
That would be
okay.
a part of what we'll have to
That's
decide.
what we're gonna
but-
decide.
Yeah,
But we currently, right now, have some comp hours.
Right, and no, we're
Yeah,
not gonna
we're
take
not
them
doing
away.
anything
All
with
right,
that.
We're just this is the policy from henceforth
yeah.
that is gonna be utilized.
So as of today,
As of today, if I had 2 hours of comp time, tomorrow, if I work 6 hours, I cannot use my 2 hours tomorrow to cover my 8 hours.
I mean,
so,
I
so
think-
this, I think, okay, may I
Just
Yes,
clarify?
go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You know, because,
I don't have payroll data in front of me right this moment. Are all 3 of you salary?
yes.
Okay, I'm trying to remember who. So a salaried exempt employee, okay, in the world that you're in, and salaried in definition and exempt definition, I can work 6 hours today and I'm still compensated. The flex time is saying, well, tomorrow I'm gonna work 8 hours. I'm still compensated the same amount. No matter what, you by definition of law are compensated for the total hours, no matter what.
I understand that.
Yeah, so
I'm
even if you
concerned
did
about
do the
my
6
hours
hours.
right now.
Yeah, so if you work 6, that other 2, if you will, it's like a flex time. You don't get changed.
Say you just short, like if
Y-
since
you're-
we're still punching in and out.
Your salary does not change.
Right.
by law, your salary will not change. Okay, so even if you put in the 72 hours, let's say it was 72 hours, that salary is still the same, and that's what that flex time, because over time, that it balances
Right,
at
that
the
all
end.
makes sense.
Yeah,
But
we
we're
get all
talking
that.
about
We're
all
talking
the
right now.
free-
Now, like
the
right
free
now.
stuff that up until this change,
Mm-hmm.
Like
when
in
we
the
did
last-
work 85, 90 hours in 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
that comp, that working under the understanding of what we were under before,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing,
Yeah,
what about that? The flex time goes into play as of
Tonight.
today.
Yeah.
What happens
we're
to those
losing- we're
hours
losing.
that?
But that banked time is what
Yeah,
we're
the
not,
banked comp time
that
that I know
banked
we're not
time, we're
supposed to
not
have
making a
anymore.
decision about.
Correct.
That banked time is still
the
gonna
bank
be
time is still
there.
there.
Right.
Okay, all
So
of the
should we
bank.
not use it? That's what we're asking.
Clara would be your person to go
Yeah.
to.
If she-
So
if
let's
she
say-
says-
Manage that,
If she
right?
says you can, yeah, tomorrow,
Okay.
work 6
Okay.
hours, you're still gonna get paid for 8.
No one's gonna come,
Yes.
no one's gonna come take us down.
Yeah.
No one,
It's your-
listen,
it's a
we're not
manager's-
deducting your payroll. Your
it's a
payroll is still your
manager's
payroll no matter
decision.
what.
We're not, we understand that part. We're good with
No,
that.
like in the last, like, so in the last 2 weeks, I have 6 comp.
You should
I
just,
have 6
we'll,
comp hours.
we'll get it tomorrow.
I would just say,
We're
no,
good.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we're
We'll
just
get some
not
of it
adding
tomorrow,
any
for
more
sure.
to comp time.
Will you leave it early tomorrow?
Correct. No more adding
Parks
to
and Rec is
comp.
closed tomorrow?
No more adding.
No more adding to comp time.
Right.
Are we calling a snow day already?
Someone said-
Freezing rain?
Don't make me excited.
This one, just because it was printed and we didn't change that to be effective date, I would just need to know when you want that effective date to, really, and it's just us programming the system.
I'm fine with the first, but I just want them to
Yeah.
have the flexibility
Right.
to do
Correct.
whatever
Okay.
they need to do. So
Yeah,
you-
first is you.
Yeah.
Dan, she's
Dan,
pointing
did
to
you
you.
have
Did you
We do that.
Sorry about that.
mean to interrupt your solitary.
No,
Did you have
I
a
said
question or input on
You
this?
looked like you were really confused.
I was
there for a minute.
concentrating, but I'm
Okay.
sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Okay. No, it just when you
She
were
wanted to
looking
make
at
sure
them,
you didn't have
you were
input.
looking very confused. Okay. All right. So, now, the motion's on the floor.
Yes,
And a second.
okay.
Mr. Matthews,
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Miller.
Did you call for a vote?
Yeah.
That's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
Yeah, I'm
that's
sorry.
what we're doing.
Yeah, I approve, yeah. I
Mr.
thought you
Miller,
did.
Yes.
There was a hesitation there, and start talking about Dan. and-
Ms.
Yeah.
Duda,
Yes.
Mr. Karen,
Yes.
Ms. Gibb.
Yes.
Claire, I'm sorry, I want to take a moment. You probably, of anybody in this room, have enormous years in this whole business.
Yeah.
With all due respect,
Them too.
can I assume that this whole operation has changed significantly in that time, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
In the
you're-
last 2 years.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, right.
I routinely look at your brochures, for instance, and they seem to be more and more prolific, which is great. Which to me means you have to support that with employees, et cetera. Okay. The areas are growing and things are happening. Now we're going to put the Citizen Connection Committee in, so that's an additional work. So I think that adds credence to supporting the work in any way we can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that what that's gonna do is gonna help.
Yeah.
It's gonna, anything that we do new adds more, but there's a reason for it. So
Right.
we just have to catch up
Okay, thank you.
to how good we
What
are.
else you got?
It's only the last one. All that we're doing is clarifying the overtime policy. So that should be in there too. So it's a WIP overtime policy. Really, the purpose is to establish the clear guidelines of compensation of overtime and compensatory time off for the employees. So it defines it a little bit better, up to the speed of today's laws. And we say that all overtime or compensatory time must be authorized in advance. One of the biggest things that I've seen just working with the team over the last couple of weeks and overseeing the payroll and looking at that is the effect is for part-time employees and for hourly employees is really the biggest structure of operations is saying, hey, it's approved. It has to be approved time, not going, oh, by the way, this individual is going to work 20 hours of overtime. So it's putting that definition around it a little bit structured, a little bit more strict to give that definition of what overtime rules are, which is over 40 hours is a time and a half. So it just goes through, if you're a non-exempt employee, you may qualify for overtime or overtime pay. All overtime must be approved in advance in writing by supervisor. So we're putting it on the supervisor to monitor time, which it should be. All time and attendance is monitored by the supervisors. And a lot of times, and I know you said something, one of the team members said something about the words may, that because it's that gray area to help say, like, for instance, in here it says, all at certain times, RWB Parks and Rec may require you to work time. That way it gives you that flexibility. I'm not saying you will work overtime. It gives you that flexibility to say, listen, guys, because once we get through this, that's going to be that handbook to say, hey, here's how to help you manage employees. And it's going to say you may work it. That way there's a visibility to say there may be an option to work that overtime if needed and short-staffed. And then it does, we do the definition of the compensatory time off. It says, in lieu of paid overtime, eligible non-exempt employees may be granted compensatory time, comp time at 1.5 rates. So it defines that compensatory time section as well. Also says that comp time balances are paid out annually, and it goes back into that definition of the total hours.
I have a question about compensatory time. So if we don't have any or non-exempt employees using compensatory time now, so do we need a compensatory time policy?
No, we could take it out.
And the only reason I ask is because it could become, I guess it's just from a budgetary standpoint, overtime is a little easier to manage than, like, say, collecting a whole bunch of hours and then having to pay it out all at one time, because you do have to pay out
any compensatory,
time,
yes.
At some point.
Well,
so the question
but
is,
again, the manager should be managing it so that there either isn't, or the reason that it's being done is because it has to be.
It really hasn't affected this department in the years that I've worked here until recently, because we had 2 managers and 1 employee, and there was just a mix-up, you know, like, when you get a good employee, you're like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And we do that a lot. Like, a lot of our staff is shared. But they normally don't go into an overtime feature. It did happen a couple of times now, but I could see where you would just kind of keep it. I don't see it happening in the future. Like, it would not.
And honestly, you don't even need it. You don't need it in there. I mean, because really, you're still getting it paid at time and a half.
So the
It's just
overtime
throughout the
part stays.
handbook, there was so many pieces that talked about it. So it's whether, I mean, in an administrative world that we all live in, it's easier to manage and say, you either worked your overtime and you get paid your time and a half, not the comp time in lieu of, because now you're in that gray area, and now you've got areas of you're managing this, you're managing this. So ease of administration for leaders and supervisors is just to say overtime. You either get it or you don't. And then at that point, you just take out that compensatory time.
Okay.
That makes sense to me.
What she said.
So with that being said, I'm fine with the language on the overtime policy minus the section regarding compensatory time. And I'd make a motion to approve this policy without compensatory time.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. That's it. That's a summation of those ones. There'll be more in the future.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll see you in January.
Sorry that took so long.
I think the next one that we want to work on is time and attendance one that defines, and I'll help the team define the rules and the regulations of how the system is programmed, the clock ins, the clock outs, the rounding. So in addition, once this all comes together in a handbook, it'll be a time and attendance policy, then you have leave, PTO, and it all comes in one section. But it's easier to kind of, like I said, down.
Can I ask one other question? So now we don't have to do the punch in and punch out. We are exempt, we are 40 hours. When we want to ask to use our PTO, that's when we would do it for ourselves, is put that in. Otherwise, I'm going to be paid 40 hours a week.
So historically, when the team was using paper timesheet, clocking in, clocking out, in essence, I started, I ended, it would start 10 times. Now, with the system capabilities, an auto feature to say, as a salaried exempt employee, it's 2080 hours for the entire year. So that's a standard exempt employee is 80 hours. When you use the feature to allow or to have employees clock in and out as a salaried employee, what it's doing is there's usually only two individuals to clock in. It is a job costing purposes, and you need to do a labor cost to see where your budgets are, and say I work. Now that I really know all the departments, I went and worked over swim. I'm salary. I worked in swim, and then I went and had to do a dance instructor. Not that that's going to happen. But I went and worked all these departments in accounting functions or cash flow. You want to pick up those hours and the costs if you're doing a labor. In your section, that would be the only reason why I would say to job costs. I keep doing this. It's like you're not clocking in and out. You're really using a feature of job. But if you all decide that it's not really relevant and they're just hard coded a percentage, system capability has an option now for labor costing allocation. So if you work 25% in that department, 25%, 25, it can do that. And then so for accounting purposes, all those where you're allocated will automatically pull out to a report for accounting purposes. So it eliminates the punch out, punch out. That's just what the team wants to do.
So will we know, I mean, each staff is a department, or do you know, like, that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless
Question, is there concern about, with punching in and punching out? Would insurance companies or policies require that we punch in so that, right, that would be my only question. Okay.
No, for a salaried employee, it's not a requirement.
Okay.
So there is so for instance, if you can do it, going back to the automotive side or manufacturing, it was a point to say, notify the system that you're here. That's it. Just notify the system. That way, if we have to hurry up and pull a report or a status report because the building's on fire, we can take that computer and say, I see these many individuals head count, or did we account for everybody? Prior years, that what was the intended. It's just the more so as a safety precaution of, like, saying, I have everybody.
Okay. All right. Great.
So then, no.
Right.
What do you want?
What I want to do is not have to remember to do it because I am the worst.
I mean, I guess.
I don't,
person.
I
I can program it either way.
I personally don't feel it's necessary for you guys.
Because like I don't punch in at home, or like and that's where I start.
There's only one reason I can think of that you would want it, either now or in the future, and that would be so that you know where your people are at and whether or not they're working. That would be the only thing that you would have to consider moving forward for exempt
even when
employees.
we had paper timesheets, I felt comfortable knowing the job was getting done in the hours were being. But
okay,
that's just me.
Yeah.
No, then you're the manager.
Yeah. So what's my homework?
So,
Have them collecting around.
so, to not, so that we are.
Salaried employees will not be
salaried-
required to clock in
Clock in
and
or
out, or notify the system.
Right. Just for
Those updates.
request of time off and.
Yes, so you're only using the system for putting in requests.
Yeah.
That'll come under that time and attendance.
And for you and Berna, since some of your time is allocated to STAR and some to Parks and Rec, can you
Yep.
divide that?
I have that allocation system already.
You do, okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you.
Because if I have to punch out for Star. I can't
Yeah, right.
imagine. Like, that's just fun. But, all right, thanks, Samara.
You're welcome, guys.
Okay, I will. Hold on a second. So next,
But Starbucks.
Claire, is there anything else that you need?
I don't believe so. We're good? You got everybody, I mean, the next, we're going on to the budgets, if anybody wants to know about the budget.
Oh, I should probably stay.
Well, that's why I break it down, so, well, thank you.
So,
You're gonna break it down.
do I have Star first? Sorry, I don't have my agenda right here. Oh, here. So 8B is the Star budget, which of course is behind the Parks and Recreation budget in the file.
Thanks, Amber.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Good job.
So where we're at now, I would say I'm 85 to 90%. I think I said that I thought I could have the whole thing done, but there are, things that had to happen here so that we can kind of figure out where we want to go forward. But for Star, we're balancing at $982,000 with a proposed additional $75,000 being used from fund balance to balance the budget. And that is mainly due to the projects that we want to do for them, which is purchase of the 2 additional vehicles, some office updating, and then the overhang and parking project. That,
Claire, do you have another? I don't have the
Oh, yeah.
Star one. I was thinking, am I missing something?
oh, maybe I'm using your packet.
Oh, yeah, I have a Parks and Rec, I just don't have a Star budget.
Maybe it's behind out of position.
No, I looked.
You don't?
It's not there. Thanks.
Dan, do you want a packet?
I have a copy, I'm looking at it.
Star. You need them. So, when you flip through, and the staple's in the wrong spot, sorry. Still using my, it will go through, it points out the revenue for Star, includes the interest and any other, items that may come in, donations, reimbursements for if there was an accident, and checks come in for that, it goes into that spot. So the only thing that I really budget for is the interest. And thankfully, due to the investment work that Kim and everybody else has done, we actually have interest coming in, which is nice. Then the second part of where STAR's budget receives money from is from SMART, which is special service, municipal credits, and community credit funds. Those are all figured out. SMART is on a different fiscal year, so it's a little bit interesting as it comes in there in July. So we get these funds throughout the year, but sometimes we have to wait and go backwards, make an adjustment,
Right.
just an entry.
They're pretty current.
Current. So, and then the millage coming through. So right now in both budgets, Washington Township, they did give me an estimate for like 3 years. So I had that. Bruce, I used what I used last year. Until that is one of the things that I would update, but because we do work on this budget so early, it's a little hard to get that estimate at this time. So worst case scenario, we'll get more, hopefully, funds than that. But by January, that could be a different number if I end up getting an estimate for that. So again, it comes to the 982,000, which we move into an expense, into the expenses. And within, on the expense page, as we had discussed, my, part of my salary as well as part of the accounting salary comes out of STAR to help not have to hire 2 additional full-time staff or whatever. It's just a cost-saving feature that we've done for a long time. I did put a 3% proposed increase in for all the full-time and part-time staff. And, you know, that is one of the things, like, you look at what we had just talked about, all the different guidelines and as an exempt and non-exempt, you know, and I know that if my week, it takes me 55 hours to work it, that's fine, except for, it's like, if you were part-time, then you would get, you know, you get time and a half and everything, and I think that's what kind of was hard on us too, is like you're looking at, here, let's compensate, you know, granted, we do get health care, and I understand we get the additional benefits with it, but it, like, the amount of hours sometimes that we put in, I could probably, someone said it once, you could go to McDonald's or somewhere else and work the same amount of hours and walk away with more than we're making here. Again, very happy where we're at, but I'm just saying that, like, that could be something that we look at. And I know, and I thank this commission for giving us our, or helping us move up a little bit in the past to kind of compensate where other departments are at. But it just hasn't always happened. So.
And I just wanted to ask, so do you feel that you've delegated all of the responsibilities you possibly can to the existing staff? Like your
My
responsibilities? Yes, like have you been able to delegate, say, not just your full-time staff,
Right.
but let's say there's administrative stuff that.
No, I know that that is where we're at right now. And I am, as you are pushing, or, you know, you see that here, I see that there, and they know it too.
Okay.
Like, because there is not necessarily a reason that Penny has to be somewhere every Saturday. Some of it is just the way we learn, you know, this is a learned behavior. These are our programs. When you feel responsible, like, you want to be the one there when the school's locked, you know,
Right.
because maybe that part-time staff isn't going to care as much as, and maybe, and that's not fair either, but.
Penny's getting in.
I want to say too, the whole thing with the
Okay.
Saturday.
Penny, you should go
I
to
know
the
that's-
microphone.
The Saturday thing's like a point of contention sometimes, because people are like, you have staff, why do you have to be there?
But if you understood that if I don't show up sometimes and the staff don't show up, or the officials don't show up, or the custodians don't show up, I'm coming in anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's one of those things. And then it's almost like I'm on call anyway. So instead of like being at home and waiting for my phone to call or ring, which it has, if I'm in and around the area and getting stuff done while I'm in the office, it just makes me feel, you know what I mean? It's kind of, and like she said, it is how it is the way it is, because it's been that way since the day I pretty much started the position. And as the world evolves, responsibilities of staff has changed a lot too. And I find sometimes it's just, it's easier if I'm in the area to help, because there's a lot more contact being made. And if they know I'm not there, I feel like they call more. So it's just kind of like how it all kind of works hand in hand. So I don't ever want anyone to think that I don't think people are capable of doing things, because they are doing their job. But for me, it's knowing it is my program, it is my responsibility, it is my name attached to it. So if 60 parents show up for a program and there's no way to get into the school, which has happened, it's horrible. It's like, and I'm not there to be able to call my contact, or someone can't get a hold of me. That's like my biggest fear, because I'm at home and in my bed, you know, at 6:30 sleeping and not worrying about it. That's why I work the Saturdays. And that's a lot of times what happens. However, if we're able to find somebody that I can share responsibilities with and/or make some changes and adjustments, maybe that's something that won't have to happen, which would help a lot with that compensatory or whatever, however you pronounce it, the comp time that I would get on a real busy season. Because for me, I have 2 really busy seasons that require a ton of hours with all the programming that I am in charge of. So, yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you. And that, again, that's one of our goals is to get help.
Yeah.
Right.
But the only caveat to that is, got to be willing to use it.
Yes.
That, I'm not gonna lie, that'll be a little bit different.
That will be difficult for all of you, because I know all of you, and I know that is
I don't even know if it's a control thing.
No, I think it goes to show, the level of care and commitment you
Right.
have
It's
to
commitment.
what you have built into the community. I mean, to me, that's what it shows.
Sense of
It's not,
responsibility.
it's not a control issue, it's you have that sense of caring and you want the best and you want to make sure things are smooth.
But we're learning. So, because we used to have 2 full-time programmers, and again, we had to take that away and make Lynn go into facilities and maintenance because that was needed, because really, we had a part-time staff, and if that part-time staff couldn't do it, then it was, I had to do it, or, at that time. So Lynn is like beautifully taking that over. But and not to forget Becky, I mean, like, the senior departments, there's 2 of them. So it is once we get that person and we start trusting them, and I do know that, it's making that step to do it.
Okay.
So I think everything from every step that this commission, I know I keep saying it, but it's so true, because just knowing that we have backing and the thought process could be there that, yes, we could add another full-time staff, or we can do something to make it easier for us, that will help.
Or does each one of you need a part-time minion?
Was it? Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, and truly, and then if Patty, or whatever, Patty.
Whatever her name is over there.
But if she wants to work on Saturdays, then maybe Wednesday is her flexi time for that, or whatever day it is.
Exactly.
So,
I mean,
we get it.
if she's not comfortable delegating the Saturdays to somebody else, then
Right.
she can delegate some of the admin stuff to
Yeah.
somebody else or something like that.
Yeah. So that's something too, I know we're on STAR, but that is something that's not in the Parks and Rec budget either. Like, I didn't add any additional staff, so, but we'll get there in a minute. But back to STAR.
Okay.
So we go through, with STAR, we have 1 full-time staff with myself and Berna, who help do the administrative, and then the rest are all part-time staff. There's office, dispatch, and then drivers. And normally the office and the dispatch, in an emergency, they can drive, so they're all trained and tested so that they have the ability to do that. So that overhead, that benefit and overhead, that's, staffing is where the majority of our costs come from with STAR. And then if you move on, you can go to the next page. It shows our building operations. STAR pays $26,000 a year towards just the building itself. A portion of it goes to snow removal, grass cutting, the building, bathrooms, what have you, towards all of our bills for that. And then the operation, there's our full-time coordinator, our part-time drivers. You'll see how much it costs for that. We do have a step type of program for the STAR drivers until they hit a certain year, and then it goes to the percentage, which the percentage is normally the percentage that is decided, whether it's 3% this year. We do uniforms. The uniforms do come back to us from STAR, or the winter coats do. But the shirts and everything, we like to represent. when we can, even though tonight I am not, and I normally do. But we also use $5,500 of the community credit towards our senior trips, so that we can go to local places and for our seniors, this community money. Or if the communities need a bus at times, they'll call and say, hey,
Funeral.
the church, yeah, or and the church was moving. When the church got moved in Washington Township, there was a group of people, so we used a Star vehicle to take them so that they could watch the church be moved to the new site. Part-time sick, and then vehicles. So this is good. This goes up and down and up and down. We are to the point that we are getting some of the newer vehicles coming in, so we're going to have less maintenance and repair. Cleaning, we just keep up on it because we like our residents to have nice vehicles to be in. Miscellaneous and fuel. Fuel is an up and down. So all together, like I said, we balanced at $982,000 with the projects. Did I skip the project? Because I didn't talk about the capital development.
It's on page 4, I think.
See what I get for trying to save paper. Capital developments at the bottom. The vehicles, I put $110,000. We're looking at the 2 SUVs this year. And I put cameras there too, because I don't know if you remember the workers' comp. They have a free where they're going to work with us with like a GPS-y type system to add on to what we have. But then they also have cameras. So I would like to, for our drivers' safety as well as our participants' safety, everybody's safety for that fact, is to get cameras on those vehicles.
Yep.
And then administrative upgrades, we want to get rid of the carpet that is in the Star office because it just gets trashed from the outside. Paint the walls, just some, and change the desk around. And then the overhang and the parking lot, which we are going out to bid. And like I said, I'm meeting with Brett tomorrow. I have a friend named Brett. And we will talk about that bid and get that out now. So this overhang is also in this current budget. Right. So there is a possibility that if things get rolling and everything, it could be done before April.
Right.
Or I put it in this one too.
Right.
So that it does not. So we'll move into the next fiscal year. But I don't know if you have any questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I like to look at things line item by line item over time. See if things are just naturally increasing because of inflation or because something else happened. How this budget, or whatever you call it a budget, this is 26 and 27, right?
Correct.
How would we compare that to 24 and 25?
So if you go on any page, I have the history from 24, 25.
History is right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, it's up there. Okay.
But I will prepare you that when you come to the Parks and Recreation budget, you won't see that. But I could get that on the side only because we don't have room. You'll see when you go through there.
But you see where I'm coming from.
Oh, yeah.
I like to look at things to see if there's
That's how I create the budget, honestly. Because I have notes of sort of what happened one year, or I'll call Dory and say, how come?
Well, the growth, the usage is up significantly on Star.
But you understand what I mean? You want to look at trends. Right. Is something pop out as an outlier, or is it just a natural progression, or what explains that change? Right. Because things aren't going to go down, they're going to go up.
Right.
But I'd like to know why they go up. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
And again, if this doesn't explain it, you can call and we can get you that answer, why.
Thank you.
The only feedback I have is on fuel. Are you sure that's enough? With all the new vehicles and stuff, and just looking at some of the past history.
Right.
It may not be enough.
Let me look at that again. Oh, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not on the right thing. you know,
Prior year was 82. Oh, only 40,000?
nope, that's where we're at really right now.
Right now,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So what I do then is I take the 9 months that we're at, divide it, times it by 12.
Yeah.
There's my logic.
Right,
Right.
but I think we're doing more rides now too. So-
Definitely, yeah.
So you might
But
have
gas
to
seems
increase
to
it.
be like,
Yeah,
Gas
but I
is,
wouldn't,
gas is.
you know, don't count
I
on it.
wouldn't count on
Yeah.
Okay.
that.
So I
I'd
can,
rather you be under budget than over.
okay, no, that's good.
I
Wishful
figured it-
thinking.
I
Yeah.
figured it $3.50 or $4 a gallon.
Yeah,
Go from there.
okay.
Some of these OEs have some electric vehicles they'll be glad to sell you sitting in warehouses or
Yeah.
on lots.
Right.
I apologize if I missed it, but do you have the fees for HR in here?
I do. It is under, I did a
Oh, yeah, I
contribution.
see it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
As well, I added the contribution for the commissioner lawyer for
Okay.
Star too.
We pay him?
He gets free
But this was all volunteer.
I think it looks good.
So the only change was the fuel.
To look at the fuel.
Yeah,
again.
to make
Look at
sure that
fuel.
there's
I mean,
enough.
That's a,
Maybe bump that up a bit.
yeah.
So-
I mean, if you're over on the budget, so what? I mean, rather
Yeah, better
than
be
you have more
over
budget
than under,
than,
yeah.
than to be under, you know?
Well, I did use history. And I looked back and I was like, all right, I felt like 23, 24, but you are correct. We continue to increase on our rides, so,
And we've got some bigger vehicles now
yeah.
that aren't as fuel efficient.
All right.
Okay, so we're not approving it, we're just advising, right?
Well,
You want, I mean, you could
don't
approve it with,
yeah. I mean, you're looking for approval because you're going next month to the townships.
Yes. However, I do feel like this might not get approved tonight, so we might have to,
We can do
A
a
meeting
conditional
prior
approval
to,
or something like
but
that too.
sometimes STAR's budget, like if you approve this now, well, I guess, to look at it later. If something changes in here, I don't know if it would, but,
well, we could, we'll call a brief special meeting.
Right, yeah. I mean, I'd just like to have them
no, I'm with you. Yeah.
approved and ready to go so you can get on the agendas.
Yeah.
So that anybody who's wants to make sure that that's in January. But they're gone. So. But it is in our,
Oh,
agreement.
the interlocal that
It's in the
that has
interlocal
to go.
that it has to go in January.
Is it ready to be approved, subject to just
Just the
Clara
fuel.
taking
I
a
think
look
just
at
the fuel, I
Yeah.
think so.
I mean,
I
I
think so.
will,
And then if we
when
have
the
to go
new
back
numbers
and
come in.
do the Parks and Rec one later, but then this
Right,
one would be.
and depending on what sticks out in the Parks and Rec, if, you know, we could do a conditional approval on that
Right.
too.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve the STAR 2026-27 budget for presentation to the townships with the adjustment of fuel costs
I'll second.
As determined as appropriate by Clara.
as
Yes.
determined as appropriate by Clara.
I still second.
You have to adjust somewhere else.
Oh, for sure. So then what I will, it will end up inevitably come out of, yeah.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Your math,
Approved.
Mr. Billet,
Yes.
Duda,
Yes.
Ms. Getter,
Yes.
Mr. Carey.
Yes.
So with the STAR, no. So with the Parks and Recreation 26-27 budget, it is balanced at $3,372,212. If you look on the right-hand side, we do have assigned funds of $1,831,000 set aside for future use development improvements. Restricted, the $15,000 that North Macomb Soccer has given us, so when we decide to use that with them, we will have that. And then appropriated funds, so they're not necessarily assigned, they're restricted. We have 1.5 million from April through December to make sure that we have operating money prior to tax collection. And then the capital development projects, which are lined out throughout the budget, I am asking that 261,000 at this time, we look at allocating that amount to this budget. And then additional funds after that, there's 229,000 that would be available, for pop-up projects or things maybe as we go forward and we talk about. But I just wanted to set that aside. And now that we have more current banking and investment, that will be filled in. Because this does go out to, it does get mailed to the community, but it's out there for the community. So I like to include some information for them as we go forward. So page 2 shows you, again, with the millage funds, for Washington, I use their estimated amount, and for Bruce, I use what we had last year. And that could change some of
Go up a little bit.
Yeah, at this time. Then also on this page, it shows you our past history of our millage, how somebody can figure out how much their rate would be on their house with their taxable value, and then our voting history, because we should brag about it, because we've always had good ratings. When I move to page 3, one thing that did happen at this audit are these, besides interest, these other revenues are Washington rentals, like we'll have people come in and do birthday parties and items like that. So we figure out how much it costs to cover the staff and to clean and everything like that. And then those funds go into here, along with the same for the community center and for our fields. All of our residents have they can come in, or first I should say Washington Area Baseball and Romeo Girls Softball, they come in and they use our fields for free. They do contribute, they pay a non-resident fee if there's any non-resident on their team. And then they also have and are moving forward helping us with projects, or that would be the plan with those affiliated recreation groups. But the field rentals are for, we have a lot of, for a better term, paid. I would say, like, the more advanced, these are travel teams that they're paying for their kids to be on. So when they come in, they get a certain number. If they're a resident team, they get a certain number of practices and games free, and then the rest they pay for. So this is accumulated in that area. And then the Star Utilities, as we had talked about, they contribute $26,000 towards the overall overhead of the buildings that we use.
So this is just moved from a different area?
This is moved.
Okay.
So
I
when we
like
get
it
to
laid out
program,
like that. Yeah.
because this is where it's going to hurt just a little bit,
Okay.
or be more, I don't know, clean is the word, but. So then we are on page 4. Yes, page 4. Salaries are marked out here. Parks and Recreation has 4 full-time staff. Like I had said, this budget has a 3% increase set, but sometime in the future, we should look at, well, I need to look at adding a full-time or moving, even if it's part-time, that has the possibility of moving into full-time for a programmer to alleviate some of the administrative duties and to add new programming. We do have part-time staff that have been doing additional programming, adding some youth enrichment. So there's a couple ways we could look at it. I think that if we're going to attempt to get what we are talking about and to alleviate, a full-time staff is probably the best way to do it, because they're there, or, you know, they would have to be there. They would be exempt and have to work 40 hours a week. But, you know, they would, a little bit more concrete that we can say, you know, this is where you have to be at what time and what has to be covered, so.
Claire, I have a question. Item 8E is the Citizen Connection Committee. Do you see that that would require programmer support in any way?
For sure, it's going to, depending on how we go forward. And Becky, with the, what, if we're just looking at, seniors, people with more discretionary time, if we were starting with that, which I know that you had talked about, as well as when you move into youth, I mean, no matter how, whatever category we're talking about, you would have to, if we're gonna, I think programming is the way that we're gonna stop the loneliness.
Oh, yeah, I know. I wanted to hear you elaborate.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it is going to be necessary. And yes, I think we want to cover all age groups. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's something to be mentioned, because if it affects what happens with these numbers, then it should be so duly noted.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to bring up one other subject. It's a tender one, and I'm glad some of your full-time people are back here, but you want to throw a rock at me, make sure it's a big rock, and then I won't suffer. So, doing some comparisons, I've had some input as to the time that, for instance, the Washington Activity Center is open, and correct me, it's only open till 3 o'clock.
Correct.
If I look at Shelby Township Senior Center, they're open from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Sterling Heights is Monday through Thursday, 9 to 9. Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5. Now, I'm not proposing those hours, but I think we could squeeze, I'd like to see us squeeze a little more time out of this Washington set, maybe another hour, except Fridays, maybe 9 to 3. What do you think about that?
I'm not opposed to it, but we, as we're talking about history, we can go back, and Becky could probably talk to this a little bit better than I can too, but it was that nobody was in there after a certain
Yeah, and I was going to come to that. We'd have to do a survey to see if it justifies the means, or the means justified.
Right.
Okay.
Or maybe instead of a survey, offer specific something to see if it goes at that time, which we definitely in the winter, the 5 o'clock time, I mean, when I look at silver fins at the pool, we have.
Just to comment too, not only, like after 3 o'clock.
A lot of things happen in that building after 3 o'clock. So we have HOA meetings that come in, Samaritan House has meetings, Washington Township has meetings. So there is activity there. It's not that it's sitting there vacant, you know.
Oh, no, I think he's talking about
Senior programming.
more for the
Yeah,
seniors.
maybe
Yeah.
open another hour to 4 o'clock. Would that be justified?
A lot of programming. Sometimes right now too, like seniors, they really do like the 3 o'clock because they're done with their programming, they're done hanging out with us, and they're going home to eat, and they're getting home before dark.
Yeah.
So
Of course, it doesn't get dark till 5.
in the summer and stuff like that, it is different. But we do have events, family events that happen, and you know, the building's being utilized. And I get seeing what your point is, but I mean.
What do you mean the building? Do you mean the area where it's the activity center or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have, how many HOA meetings? Couple a week?
Yeah, in the evening, Washington organizational meetings,
Well, we can somewhat control that.
Oh, definitely, I mean,
We could.
Oh, we can control that,
We could control
100%.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was, in my mind, if there was a
Demand.
demand for more senior activities, that's primary. Homeowners just have to
Oh,
meet later.
100%.
Our programming always goes first.
Right.
Yes.
I tend to push off organizations, HOH, until all the programming
Oh, yeah.
is done. Once I know that's done, then I filter in the Boy
Right.
Scouts and everybody else and
Right.
stuff like that. And there does open spaces, but like on every Wednesday and Thursday in the evenings at Washington, certain rooms cannot be used because Washington Township board meetings meet or planning commission meets, and they don't want that room being used at all. So I
Why?
cannot book. They due to noise for one, and then two, for instance, one current that's coming up January 8th when planning commission goes again up there with that data center, they asked to use our part of the building. So I blocked off
Yeah.
everything so they can utilize, open up the.
But those would be evening things.
That's, that's.
Yeah, not afternoon.
No, the earliest I have staff in there is 5 o'clock. Or actually 4 o'clock for Samaritan House meetings, and that's once a month. And then the earliest my staff gets there off of that is 5 o'clock.
so
But-
we used to be open till 4:30.
Logistically, it would change a lot of things too, because senior staff, they do not work over 7 hours. So as soon as that happens, I'm either going to have to add more staff and split hours, or I'm going to have to add more staff and have people start taking lunches. So
Oh,
there's
you mean your
logistics
staff in the
too.
little office down there?
Pardon
You mean
me?
Your staff in the little office down there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Because let me just share this with you. When the previous clerk was in Washington, he walled off 80% of the second floor. to
Yes.
use for. Now, I fought and negotiated, and the current clerk agreed, and the board did, to share that use between the citizens. And there is a splendid room there that can be closed to mitigate any extracting noise.
Except
We
turn
use-
off the elevator.
We utilize both rooms upstairs.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yep.
Not getting it.
Okay, I'm sorry to thwart the, please
Yeah.
continue.
Oh, no.
It has been a thought in the past and everything like that, but it doesn't seem like it's a majority. Nobody's saying, hey, can you stay open longer? A lot of programs start, I mean, it depends who they are. I mean, you have the wood carvers that start, they're beating me to work sometimes. And they stay until 11, 12.
Yeah, okay.
Some of them stay all day. But then you have other card games that are starting at like 10 and they're not getting over with until 2:33. So I don't even know if they would want to play there. It wouldn't be like they would need to play longer unless we started them later, but
Well, I'm not there as long as you and your staff. What do you think? Do you think it's necessary to run that?
for an extra hour,
Yeah.
I think that there would be staff that would be upset about it. They like the hours that they're working, and it doesn't seem like it's a necessity. I don't hear many seniors saying, why aren't you open later?
Well, we used to be, again, until 4:30.
Mhm.
And not that it's wrong, and if we can fill and come up with programs, and we would just get more staff. But the two that you speak of that stay till 9 o'clock, theirs is a whole different setup, like multi-purpose gym type rooms that they have, and they can have activities in there for that. But just on that note,
Oh yeah, they got pickleball, they
Yeah.
have indoor
so
tracks,
that's why some of their
basketball.
time is different.
Oh, you mean
than-
downstairs?
No,
No,
Sterling
no,
Heights.
at
Oh, Sterling Heights. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
At those
I
that you
didn't understand what
mentioned,
you-
yeah.
That's not comparing apples to apples.
Yeah.
Like,
We're,
that's a huge
Well,
No,
of
I
course.
mean, I agree with,
community.
if we were to expand some hours or something, we just get other staff.
yeah, that
Yeah, we
part's not a
could,
big
yeah.
I
deal.
mean, that's not,
No.
Well,
you
let
know.
the citizens have the voice. We don't know exactly what that
Right,
Right.
and we do have like a progressive euchre that happens in the evening,
Yeah.
so maybe we could we do have like enrichment classes that happen in the evening for the seniors, like watercolors or stained glass cooking, you know, stuff like that does happen in the evening.
So when there is an activity like that, it just gets opened up. We just don't leave it open until 5 if it's not happening. Does that make sense? I don't know how else.
No, there's no reason to have it open
Right,
if there's
like,
nothing going on.
Our set hours are till 3 because it seems to be working and people kind of clear out.
But this question comes from not just me. We could talk about it at a later date. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry to divert your discussion here.
So since we're talking about salaries, I think we do need to add into this at least one full-time and possibly some other. I don't know if you have part-time people that want more hours or what, but I think, yeah, they're saying no back.
I don't know that it's, our part-time, well, it depends on who it is. I know the ones that are doing some enrichment, they have young children who are in programming or who have their own things running, so it's hard to know if we can get somebody that's gonna be able to commit to do the things that.
Right.
I
we
do
need.
work with a lot of like people in college, but you know, problems or something comes up.
It's on you.
Yeah, which, and again, they can't work, then I have to fill in because of that.
Right.
But the door thing, you know, I had that app locked doors, really unlocked doors at Washington. I'm not comfortable giving that. I don't.
No.
I would keep that.
Right.
But, you know, that way, I don't know, I guess we'd have to see, because then we have to balance hours. Sure we don't overload them in the hours, department, stuff like that.
Right.
So that's like a.
In my opinion, for Lynn's, for the evening, we're going to get to the point that we need more than, our maintenance guys are great, they go do garbage, and honestly, we've done that before. But they come in, they want to work a few hours, and then they want to go. We have to find somebody and make it worth their while.
Right.
To want to come in, do the maintenance in the evening, take some of the, hopefully, stress off you once you trust them to, you know, and you probably still get phone calls, but at least to work that, 1 or 2 people, because we will have, we have both of our buildings that things can be done in the evening if things happening in it. There are things for that. For programming, for family programming, we need to spread that out so that Penny doesn't have it all on her. So that would be a full-time staff in this budget.
A full-time, a full-time staff, maybe that works later start, later end.
Right.
You know, maybe that works from, you know, I don't know, noon to 7 or something, or 8. I don't know.
Right, and
you know,
maybe, or encompass.
why not, you know, why not do something like that? You know, and if you need 2, ask for 2. I mean.
No, I agree. Or do you need like an extra part-time person to help with some of the administrative stuff?
Yeah, like.
That could be put off to free the full-time people, help free up the time that they, help free up time they have too.
Have wish lists, have a wish list.
It's so funny, because, you got stuff on the weekends that we run at the buildings, and they have my number if they need any, of course, and then the evenings, and then the program work. So, yeah, it varies. It's like ebb and flow. Sometimes you're super slammed with all this, and then sometimes, like Washington, when we get back, there's nothing for, like days or something like that, because running in the building, so there's no staff. That's another thing. I can't guarantee a certain amount of hours. Everything is so.
Well, but.
Well, if they're full-time, that idea.
Couldn't they be used somewhere?
Absolutely.
You know, rent them to Penny.
Right? I don't exactly know our budget for it, because I don't exactly know the answer, because we're
Well, I do think it's important to utilize the existing staff you have, like part-time people that might want more hours or something like that. Like, I don't know how you communicate that with your people.
That we don't really have. I mean,
Okay.
the permanent part-time staff that we have,
Are
Like,
permanent
they
part-time
like
because
being
they want to
part-time.
be.
well,
Right.
or they're working up to our no overtime, you know, like
Got
we're
it.
working on
Okay.
too much. So it's, but would they, you know, want to be full-time, or how do we, are they,
And maybe it's as simple as putting out a company-wide communication. There might be somebody out there that doesn't really speak up much, that maybe is looking for some
more
extra
hours.
work, or maybe to do something different altogether.
Yeah.
You never know unless you ask.
Right.
So I think it's important to utilize the people that you have, because it's easier. And then I think that will help you from a budgeting standpoint in knowing, okay, outside of this, then what do we need? If this person's willing, or these people are willing to take on, say, 20, 40 extra hours, whatever it is, divided amongst, then you can determine how many people, new people, full-time people that you would actually need, if you haven't already done that.
On here is the direct coordinator?
so, no. The part-time staff are, when we get back into programs, first of all, they're taken out of programs, or they're taken out of maintenance.
Oh, this is the admin.
Yeah,
Right.
when we get to the next page, I want to say.
But, you know, I just think that, I think we need to definitely add in one full-time staff at least.
I'm not a full, I mean, 100%.
And however you guys choose to utilize
Yeah.
that person. And I mean, you make them a coordinator, that way we don't have to worry about overtime.
But I think that's funny because, well, yeah, we're right, no, because now
Then we can take
Yes, I
advantage of
get
them,
it.
huh?
we make them full. That is, yes, and maybe that is what we do. Let us, so. I
Think
will
about
add a
it.
full-time-
Just add in the money.
Yeah.
If it's in the budget, it's good, it's in the budget, then you guys figure out what you want to do,
Right.
Yeah.
and then you have the latitude to do it,
Will do.
right?
Yes.
Getting yeses back there, is approving.
Just start. Okay, so I will do that.
Anybody else?
One thing.
I don't want to steal the show here.
No, I agree.
I agree.
Okay, I did put yellow where there are line items that are gonna need a budget amendment or adjustment at the end. And for recreation coordinator, we had found out when Berna was moving it into fund balance that I forgot a zero. So I'm gonna have to do an amendment here. You see it on the yellow?
Oh,
Yeah.
so you put 6,200,
Yeah,
not 62,000,
right.
okay.
I know. Oops. So, but you still got paid.
I already had myself questioning that.
Oh, okay.
It's like, why?
Yeah, yeah, no, it was just truly a mistake that we knew was gonna have to be fixed as we went forward. There are some other yellows as we go through, but nothing like that. If we go to, I don't know if you have any questions on salaries or benefits, and at some point, I mean, it probably would be a good idea that we maybe do another salary type survey with fresher numbers.
Do that,
As we get.
sounds like a director's job to me, but, you know,
Or the HR company.
or the HR
Yeah,
company.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing too, is like, I see the light or of the HR company. I mean, it's been like a lot of jumps and changes and
Yeah.
just stuff. But, just a lot of new this year. I mean, it really was an overload for a lot of staff, including myself. But I think it's gonna help. It's gonna take the personal out of decision-making. The policies are gonna be, I
Legal.
see. Legal, yeah. But I do see how it's gonna be a benefit to us. So again, how many times do I thank the commission? Put in is true. I mean, it was a necessity. Nobody else would, I don't know how many times that handbook had been looked at and dropped, or, and not, move forward with the money for the HR, which was definitely a necessity. If you go to page 5, we are on operations. This is where you'll see the funds for Donna. I'm sorry. If you go 3/4 of the way down, like 60% of the senior staff wages come out of this budget, and then the other ones are spread out. A little bit of maintenance because they'll do opening, closing of the building, and then the rest to the actual program number that they are in charge of in the programs. And then we have the Parks and Recreation office staff comes from this number. And then we have an accounts payable part-time staff who comes from this number. And then I added eVenture and Paycor, which we do have to pay Paycor for. It is the number, so like $1
Per employee or something.
Yeah, per employee.
I think it ends up. Per payroll without the discount, about $800.
Oh, well, when I did my division so I'll be looking at these numbers again as we move forward. Because I just, again, and I knew that we've had them since October. So maybe I'll have to re-look at those numbers. And then we made new line items for FICA and unemployment for the staff that are within this specific department section. I'm sorry, what's that?
That's the 60%.
So no, well, you mean,
In the senior staff, we take like 60% of their salaries. And then the other 40% allocated. They're allocated to FICA. That's like.
oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. So when we go to page 6,
Real quick, I just have a couple questions. You
Oh, yeah,
went
sorry.
down on office supplies and accounting software. Is that because you're not anticipating needing as much?
so office supplies, I went up 1,000. Right?
Yeah, 9 to 8,
Wait, where am I? Where are you guys?
Are you,
9,000.
five.
That's
Top of page
8,000.
five.
Oh, I'm sorry, the office equipment, I'm sorry, and service.
okay, so we split those out a little bit for the, wait a minute. No, I'm not seeing office equipment.
Office, it's the fourth one
It's
down
the
from the
fourth,
top.
yeah.
Oh, so we took the computer IT out of that line
Oh,
item.
okay,
so
got
because
it.
it was getting so big and we couldn't, it was getting confusing.
Okay.
And then the registration rec track program, it has its own line item as well.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just curious. All right.
And then
Next page.
page 6. These are the improvements. So the improvements are page 6 and 7. Improvements and capital developments go hand in hand because, in theory. So if you flip to page 7, kind of gives you an outline of my thought process of items that need to be worked on, or that we can work on.
Yep.
I'm not sure that $100,000 is gonna pay for the exercise pad. But with a grant, like once we get to that line, I don't, when the 5-year plan goes in, if we could work on a grant for that, then that money could be seed money for that, or maybe the prep for it, and Gilcher, not sure the plan is to do a permanent restroom this time, but to look at that, and if not a permanent restroom, and we decide to do the temporary ones that are wheeled in, then we'll look at that. Again, just putting it in there so it's there. Cox Acres, that is low, the $100,000, because if they are, so they're working on a grant right now for that, and they would have to have a match, and the conversation was $1 million for the match, but not necessarily do I know that is like, they want, I'm sure they want $1 million from Parks and Recreation, but I asked Kayla if their planner or whatever, would that be like both the township and us, and how much would we be using of it, because there's a couple barns that are viable. There's a lot to that project. So I did go on the tour. It has possibilities. The barns are tall, putting a floor in. I mean, it could be a gym or a multi-purpose gym, and it could have daytime pickleball. And, I mean, there are things that we've talked about that we want, so, but no, that number is not right. Like, I feel I have to
Add a zero.
add a 0.
Well-
Or maybe add a 5. If it
Well,
were-
but
if we
is it
said-
right for how quickly we're gonna move? Like, are we really gonna move that quickly on
Would
this
it be in
project?
this next year?
Yeah.
So, yes, because one of the things that had to happen, let's say I went to the township board meetings, is I had to to the resolution, I had to add an addition because Hawk Acres, well, first of all, it was called different. It was supposed to be fixed. I don't know if anybody, did I tell you guys that our last person who was our community planner was gone now too? So that page or that correction that I had sent was not correct.
Oh, okay.
So they made the resolution with the addition of Hawks Acres being added. It was always supposed to be in there,
Okay.
because I know that they had talked about working on that project at one with Thorn.
Okay.
I know. There's a lot of, the Memorial Park, we're taking that over.
Yeah. Last year, it was $5,000.
This is just in case. The money for maintenance will be in the maintenance part of the budget.
Okay.
Thorington, I put the 175,000. Not sure, but I know that we need to
I
work
know
on the
they're
parking lot.
gonna come
yeah.
up with, they're gonna come up with something they want.
Yeah. Well, the parking lot we kind of knew, or
Yeah,
we know
we-
about, and the paths, I would think that if nothing else, that would be a great start, whether it just sat there for 10 years, if there were walking paths there, and that was the only thing with the
And they don't
house.
have to be paved or anything, or do they?
No, I mean, no,
I
mean-
mean, could they be a gravel?
they absolutely could, it would go with the historical fashion of the
Or wood
church.
chips?
I mean, we want to make sure that if we put it out there, that it's accessible. And, but maybe we could do the base of it, and so many maybes that we could do with that. But I do know that we will probably want to consider the parking lot for sure, and some type of. Then we move to the brew. Still want the sled hill. It hasn't happened. It's in this year's budget to lengthen it so it's not so fast and so speedy, but we still want it fast and speedy, just not as much. So hoping to get that stretched out. Kind of wanted to see when they were moving some dirt. I don't know. Thought about mushing it in with Stars thing, but I don't think there's that much with the overhang now.
No, I don't think so.
Somehow, I don't even know exactly how to start. I guess I need a survey to say how much dirt here do we have to move there to make it have some.
Well, if
engineering education.
if you're lessening the slope,
Moving it back
would be,
though. I want to move it back to 3 to the fence where it used to be, like, was the only flood hill at the community center used to just come off of the ball field. So if we have it come off the ball field, but go long.
yeah, I don't think 40 grants would cover it.
The engineer,
No, the whole project.
no.
But-
Well, I was trying not to take much out of the fund balance too, but, okay,
Well, I
so
mean,
I'll look at that.
yeah.
I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow, so maybe he could just give me a rough.
Well, yeah,
average.
but I think too, you know, I'm really interested in the Hawk Acres.
Yep.
Because if that's something, if we can make gym space and have gym space there, that's what we need, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It has a lot more potential than I had
I
thought.
would rather put our money there than in an exercise pad at Aikman.
Okay,
And I don't know, can you still see out the windows at Washington?
yeah, okay, all right.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
if you.
We do need a few, truly need a few
Yeah,
at the community center, correct? But I mean, can you still see out them?
I believe we lose a lot of heat and air through,
Through that,
a lot of the panes, a lot of the casings.
okay.
right, but not here,
The
okay.
building just needs a little,
So,
And-
The-
I mean, I just think, you know,
should I drop some of these, like even the driveway material and dust, we did add, well, we need to fill, like the potholes and stuff that killed your.
Yeah.
And definitely have the dust part, because it just goes
Yeah,
to
that
all
one's
those
huge,
houses.
yeah.
And now that we do have a great entrance, a great entrance into that park. So, okay, we need to do Washington Township. Yeah. And the cameras, those are in here. And some shade seating. See, it's hard to pick what you don't need.
well,
I mean, I think pausing
there-
on Aikman
is there ground underneath those trees people can sit?
is, you know,
Pausing on Aikman, yeah.
I mean, I think pausing on Aikman
we
for
have to
now,
pick one.
just saying that there's other things that are a higher part, that will be of higher use
Yeah,
than that particular, not
Especially-
saying it couldn't ever happen.
especially since we're not positive what's happening with the property
Yeah,
Yeah.
adjacent to it.
yeah, not putting a big investment there until we know.
Right.
And I agree, I think, you know, if there's something to be done at Hawks Acres, I feel like that could be
More
much,
beneficial to our
more,
current
much more
program.
beneficial and used year-round.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that out. I'm just looking ahead to see what I can chop.
Shade seating, I mean, at the Washington Park.
Well, our arborvitaes are not in yet, but they will be in the spring. They were waiting for fall, and I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Huh?
The arborvitaes, that's part of
Oh.
some of our shade that's coming.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's pretty, can be pretty hot out by the tennis and the pickleball course, because it's pretty open.
You can't put trees on those.
No, but next to, or, you know, like the arborvitaes, but these would be like a bench or like some type of, you ever see the,
Like an awning kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Okay. All right.
okay?
Um,
So, as I'm looking, this pavilion will need power washing and painting. Storage possibly, if we could maybe put some type of storage for our synthetic ice rink, like next to the.
That would be nice.
Gas, because then we could use it a little bit
Right,
more if we wanted to have Christmas in July or something like that.
right, yeah, I mean, if you,
I have a question about Washington. You may remember some years ago, they unearthed dug up, whatever the word is, that driveway, and they put in underground infrastructure. I don't know if it was water supply.
In Washington Township?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that all intended for, to enhance the park?
For a bathroom in the park.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that shown here anywhere, or?
Now we put trees in.
Yeah.
No.
Not yet, not yet. We have a lot of projects, is what,
Because that infrastructure is just sitting in the ground now, doing
Well,
nothing.
the reason they did that is because they were digging up for
The parking lot.
putting in the parking lot anyway. So they went ahead and put the piping in, even though it's not gonna be used right away.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
so at the community center, we waited till the roof was fixed. Now the roof is fixed and our restrooms definitely are in need of repair. Or, yeah,
The roof is done?
roof is perfect,
Yay.
yeah,
Wow.
It's
Cool.
about time.
yeah.
At the community center
At the
on Morgan
community
Street?
center.
They had a
Been
leak
leaking for years.
for years.
Yeah.
Well, there was a
Yeah.
problem that had been re-roofed, but there was a problem that it was still leaking.
So they,
That was in this year's
Yeah,
budget,
but
so.
I'll find out. You know.
So what do we wanna, what are we gonna upgrade in the restrooms?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What are we gonna upgrade in the restroom? What?
Oh,
Oh, just have them
Yeah.
redone?
just, yeah,
Yeah.
they need,
They
good,
need love.
yeah,
Okay.
overhaul and like commercial fan.
Right here. Yeah,
Do you
community
guys
center.
need to get approval from,
The village, yeah.
okay, do they approve
Oh, I
like
see.
design
Okay.
and materials and all that, or no?
No, they're
Okay.
not.
I was looking down.
They're just more like the concept, and they're happy when we put anything into that building.
Right.
Okay, so crystal diamonds, here we have the dusting again, definitely, but, the lights with the soccer club, because the soccer club wants to, donate the funds for that, and there might be additional funds. These funds are for ball fields, because if the soccer club's gonna come in and pay for the soccer portion of it,
Yeah.
then we would want to add the lights at the same time,
To the ball field.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
Lynn has been talking to our rec clubs who, correct me if I'm wrong, who are,
Fields, like elementary, I told them that we would have to have a conversation with. We'd have to have a conversation with the schools, but Gilcher and Crystal, they're interested in putting like covers over the dugouts. They want lights at Gilcher, they want lights at Crystal and covers over the dugouts as well. They would like to upgrade some of the backstops at the school level, but I said that because that's on school grounds, we probably have to have a conversation with the schools. I said Gilcher and Crystal are different. I'm like, I said everything would have to go through our commission. So we said we're gonna sit down, see that their wish list in January, and then just kind of, this is kind of what they're hoping for.
Does it
And
come with a check?
the Washington Baseball said yes, they do have a few parents that are willing to put in some money to help with these improvements and upgrades.
So,
Yes.
we just need to figure out what those would cost,
Right,
what we can do and what they can do, and,
correct.
I mean, I'm all for, because that really extends the usage of those fields, of, those
Yeah.
diamonds,
Yeah.
you know,
They get used a lot.
right, but I
You
mean.
add
they
lights on,
could
it
use them
adds
at
hours.
night.
That's a whole extra
Yeah,
game.
you add lights to any field, you're going well into the night too, and so that helps. Yeah, so, yeah, there's interest, so I can have more information in January, February.
Would that be this coming year, though?
Well, I guess it would all depend on what they're actually looking for, where we would want to start at is Gilcher. I told him Gilcher is the dugout thing. I think that's a no-brainer. That's great. I think lights at Gilcher, I said we might have a little bit of pushback because of the housing, and then it does sit in a drainage ditch. I don't know how the poles can go in, how they can be supported. We have some issues with lights with the pickleball courts down at the Washington Township Park there. So I said,
We don't have issues, the people around it do.
right, right. So, yeah, so the pickleball lights are one thing, so I can't imagine, having some ball field lights, what some residents around that area might. Crystal, I don't think it's,
Especially where it's located. It's
Correct.
fairly close to the home.
correct. And I did tell him that, and he said, oh, I didn't think about that, but, we can have a conversation still. Crystal, I said, probably would not be an issue because, it's out in the middle of nowhere really, or it's like industrial really out there. So I don't think that too much light pollution would be going there, but Gilcher would be a different story.
The neighboring company is open 24/7 too, so they got lights on all over.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, we would just have to see and how they would be pointed down and, that type of thing. So, but yeah, but they are interested in helping out.
Good, cool.
So, yeah, well, so that is the other possibility too. Like, we had talked about pinpointing these things so that they're not surprises. Or I could take them out and surprise you as we go forward.
No.
However, you
I like that. Yeah,
I think it's better to have
in the
them
budget.
to know.
Yeah.
I'd like to consider and with some really, like, as you guys are getting information from folks, some very detailed scope. The costs on those, and then from those scopes, maps and photographs, need to put something off.
Right.
They're just,
So really,
and that also opens the door for the fundraising, because then you're all ready
in
to
it.
say, hey, you're next door, you're the industry next door to the ball fields. How about you get this, do grant writing?
So take the 5-year plan and really detail it out,
Yep.
because, I mean, when you
Proposed
have,
5-year budget, what you're proposing.
Right.
Like a proposed budget, you adopt
Yeah.
a budget year, but it would be a forecast, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a capital improvement program. 5 years. It's something I would love. It's something that is desirable.
always of your help.
It is desirable. Feel free.
Okay.
So I know how to.
And so in other, a tree plan, because I have been approached by like, tree committee. So I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but
Yeah.
just to kind of look at the trees that we have and make sure that we are keeping them alive, doing the correct things for them, like a good analysis of each park that we have, because that's something that I have never done, with the exception of if something, it has to be hurt, dying, and then oh no, what do we do? So it might be a good idea to have their help. And I think that they have resources and connection.
So is there a,
Tree board?
yeah, is there one?
There is one,
Romeo.
there's one for the village, yeah. Who is knowledgeable, volunteer staff on it, and Clark, he's come here to our meeting.
Clark?
Clark, I don't know if you recall, but he's come to our meetings
Oh,
in the past. Yeah, right.
and there was a
that's
lady
great.
that came.
Betty,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
She's on that as well. Multi-purpose equipment and supplies, that's anywhere from tables to chairs, just general variety. Signs, lights, decor, and the AED. Kind of looking forward to next Christmas. We had some great comments about, I did a double tree, the one by the accessible playground, we decorated that huge.
it looks nice.
Yeah.
It looks really,
I'm very happy.
and they did a really good job on the other one at the.
Yeah, so
They really do look much, much better.
yeah. Now I just have to make another star for that one. Just kidding. But they turned out really good, and there's some very good comments about it. It's just very Christmas. So And then pin pads, moving to the point that we bring pin pads to all of our desk stations so that we can help with the registration.
Oh,
Because we're
okay.
kind of have our
Wondering what that was.
hands tied. And kiosks for the for check-in, for Paycor, for
Like punching in and out.
punching in and out.
I thought they used cell phone.
They do, but there are people who prefer not to
Okay.
use their cell phone, and it's a great reminder
Oh, yeah,
coming from somebody who doesn't remember.
right. Yeah, if I had to pull out my phone every time I came in. Well,
Listen, I
do.
have a huge sign
Yeah.
that says punch in, but I don't. And then sometimes you don't even go into your office first, and that's why it's a good thing, but better that I don't have to do it. Pool signs, safety and miscellaneous. There's some things at the pool that just nobody's fixing it, or, you know, and they just need to be done. So I'd like us to, we've contributed in the past to make sure things, but to work with their maintenance department too. Nothing huge, just more safety factors of where the people are sitting and stuff like that. So definitely signage. So that's really it. So the biggest problem then is what I do with Hawks Acres.
Well, I think we need a little bit of definite input from Washington Township as to what they're gonna allow us to
So
do.
Kayla wants to come in January and discuss this, and she is the one,
But let's put money in the budget now.
right,
I mean, we know we can only spend so much. I mean, so let's put the money in the budget now, and then, you know, we can, once we get some commitment as far as what we can use it for, and what the restrictions.
so I really only have $229,000 extra. Well, okay, so say even a little bit less than that, as we were talking about adding different things. So then I would have to go into our assigned, set that, which is for future development and,
Right.
okay, I just have never done
That is future development.
I know, I realize that, that's fine. So then, in my head, I know that $1 million word was put out there, but again, I don't know if that's, you're putting up half of it, and Washington's putting up half of it, however, I feel like,
Well, if we're doing capital improvements,
throughout,
I mean, like for their it's their property. I mean,
Right.
but it's for our usage.
right. And it wouldn't necessarily all be at one time either.
Right.
So I guess maybe I don't need to put it, but we would need to make that commitment if a grant was being, like a phased out grant was being written, that somewhere there might be a resolution that says we're gonna contribute $1 million over. I don't really know how it's gonna work, right? I really don't. with
No,
these.
we just don't commit to something like that.
No,
In my mind, you know,
but except for, that's what's gonna get the park, you know, like Hawks Acres.
right.
The grant proposal is being created right now for this upcoming April.
To be submitted in
Right.
using.
So it's not, right, it's not like we're gonna use that $1 million or whatever.
Money in for design and engineering.
This
figure out
year's.
What to do with.
And I do, so that there's concrete money that's
You've got your placeholder there that says yes.
going to be matchers of a grant, right, if it's written, which, again, we'll find out more about it next. So right now, for this purpose of this budget then, I will keep the $100,000 for the Hawks Acres,
Well,
or just?
what do you think it would cost to get one of the barns?
This is capital planning, one has no idea.
Right, but I mean, with a floor and things like that.
Well, and the school wants to be a part of it too. They're,
Yeah,
$1 million.
right.
that, I get it. I'm just saying, this is the conversation that was had. So,
I would leave what you have in there
Yeah.
for design and engineering.
Mhm.
And then we can use that in coordination with Washington and the schools and whoever to figure out who's
Yeah, I mean,
gotta pay how much.
I think we're a long way off of
Yeah.
shovel in the ground.
right, but put something in here so it's there, so that when the grant,
Right.
got it. Moving on to page 8. Maintenance. So it's split up, Washington site, Romeo site. We have supervisors, a cleaning company, our utilities, our equipment, supplies, and repair, and then also the cost of the fitness center for Washington. Same if you go to the Romeo site, these are the costs. We have a cleaning company that comes in there, we have evening supervisors, utilities, equipment, supplies, the Romeo Community Center, the south building, we don't pay for the south building, but remember, we do the rental of those storage.
Right.
Well, why the increases? CC clean stuff, is that from 20,
Cleaning and supervising. So it just is the amount.
from 2025, 15,000, why is that increased so much?
From 2025 budget, my thought process, we have the, wait, there was a reason that I did that. Because when I take the 34,000 divided by 9 times by 12, it's showing me the actual usage, and it was closer to 55.
So what we're actually spending
Yeah.
this year. She's not, she's basing it on what we've actually spent this year, you know, as opposed to.
Like, this is what I budgeted last year.
Yeah.
This year that we're in right now. This is where we're at through December. So I take that number, divided by the months that we're at, and then times it by 12, and we're closer to the 55 mark. Plus anticipation of
Increased
more,
usage.
yeah.
Increased usage.
You see what I'm asking? Yeah. Okay.
So page 9, we move into maintenance. The, something that I just thought of somewhere, oh no, I just put somewhere. Okay, so, same way I look at the funds that I budgeted this year, how much we actually spent. These are what I think that we're gonna need. I added Memorial Park. We think it's only gonna be 6,000, but we do have to do a lawn care company bid
Rebid.
coming up. Yeah. So
Didn't
we'll
we
be
do it, was it, I think it was the year, was it last year or the year before that we did them for?
2 years.
Could be
2 years, but this would be,
This is the end of the second
Yeah.
year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time flies when you have
I mean, we have, the companies that we have right now have been good.
Yep.
And it's been working out, so maybe next time we look at years, the possibility of
Okay.
doing that. I don't know what else. Really, these are just like the frosted parks. Oh, I know one thing is that Romeo Community School
This is,
cost of the pool, I
what
took
they're
completely out
anticipating.
of programs
This is
now, and I put it all into
this
maintenance because
was
it really
what we
just is
put
a
in
rental.
last.
So our program
But
shouldn't
then
be.
this is what our actual price been to this point. But we're 90 our year, and we've already spent more than we budgeted last year.
With the parks payroll, what's included in that?
So this is, our park maintenance guys who do the garbage and do small jobs, and then park, checks, playground checks. And then during the summer, Lynn does extra work or uses extra staff that comes and does projects, which is a variety.
And I assume that's going up. Parks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, allowing us more.
And more stuff in them.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, moving on to,
Real quick,
Oh, yeah.
the pool in others for Romeo Community Schools, is that cost based on current, or is it based on stuff we've talked about with contracts or
No,
with them?
there's nothing
Yeah.
more happening.
Okay,
no, it's based on the current.
current,
Plus, the other, so 45
okay.
is the current. The additional money is for other
Oh,
items that are Turkish that
right, okay.
are not
The
in
pool
there.
money used to be in a different place,
Yeah,
so.
part of the pool money was in programs.
Oh, I
in the
got it.
program budget, but I took that out because now that our revenue, the other revenue that used to be under programs is moved to administrative or to the millage part of the budget.
Okay.
Here, where we at?
When you're looking at what page,
My copy has an old program. So, programs are a little bit different. Does everybody have that there'll be a -8? 800?
87.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. I must have my old copy. But, so, again, when I took that revenue away from programs, it definitely hurt it. So then I looked at other facts of what is in the program budget that maybe shouldn't be, which is the rental of the school, which helped us, because that's, you know, a pretty big chunk that comes out of it. Really, that was the only big expense that I could take out of there, but that and the percentage or how we use the staff for, so it's not all necessarily coming out of, it's 60% coming out of administrative now as opposed to a lesser percentage. So we will see. I mean, ideally, with programs, we want to be even. We want our free programs to be covered from, you know, the sponsorship ads that go into the brochure, as well as, like, the bigger programs that come out, like Penny's basketball program and things, help pay for those free programs, that we have. So,
with the, programs that are not free, do you feel there might be room to increase the fees slightly?
well, we have, but we do pride ourselves on trying not to increase that much. And we, yes, we do when we need to, but we're trying
Because
to,
I'm just saying to cover that 8,700.
yeah. Well, participation is a big thing. And
Yeah.
I budget low on revenue and higher on expenses, so then I hope that we come out better than we are. But, I mean, one of the things, even though program revenues are supposed to pay for all program expenses, is that this is a service that our millage, why they vote yes for the millage. So, you know,
I don't know if it's actually a policy that you have to have 100% coverage, but it's a legitimate decision that Parks and Rec is subsidized.
yeah.
Like we're trying to serve more people than are gonna pay for these services. They're
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's more of like, again, a mindset. We've always tried to make sure that our revenues pay for our expenses, but I am 100% in agreement because even me moving the cost of our permanent part-time staff from the program budget, even though they are truly a program expense, but rationally in my head, I know that, you know, they can, part of them, a little bit, a percentage can come out of maintenance and a percentage can come out of our millage. And that's why we do that. So, because whether there was a program or not, we would still have some type of need for staff to do the administrative work that is happening. So these breakdowns too are, well, I have the wrong one, but
Yeah.
they'll go through and kind of see, and if you go back to general, which is on page, I don't know, 10, maybe D or something, when you find it, can you show it to me?
General program, yeah, thank you.
So this is where that revenues used to sit. But now it really is mostly expenses. You'll see the one source, which I can say right now, this is a benefit to us. The cost altogether for us is like $7,500, and that's for the mailing and printing of it. It was a little bit messed up this time, just with post office and what have you. We had to have them all delivered to Parks and Recreation, and then we had to take them back to the post office and la la la. But it was a learning curve, and we've learned. Fitness center registration, our costs are really low at our fitness centers because we consider them like a extra arm of our senior center. So they can pay 75, people of a certain age can pay $75 and use it for the year, or they can just come and pay $1 for a resident and drop in for the day and have conversation and exercise. So credit cards, we could charge the residents the credit card fee, but I think it's just a really nice thing that we don't. I mean, it's like, I could be wrong, but I feel like everything's charged everywhere we go. When you come to Parks and Rec, it's just a nice, that you can use Parks and Recreation, you can sign up for our program, and
But can't you just increase the
Yeah.
prices a little bit just to cover?
to cover the costs, yeah.
Because
I mean, we
was
do.
up like
Well,
$1
Or
per
if you
program.
keep the prices the same, just they'll find out when they go online or credit card, it's a separate fee.
Yeah, but don't
It's
you
not-
hate that? Okay, so I would rather raise the
We
actual.
do that
price.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to pay here with a credit card, you know, and I just tell people, well, it ain't us, it's the processing company.
I feel like it's across the board, like people are so used to it that it's
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean, like,
No matter what that.
it's becoming common.
But that's kind of a double-edged sword, because we want them really to pay the fee, because if they're not gonna pay the fee, then they're gonna be coming to the office, pay in cash or check, and then we're gonna have to staff the office. You get the convenience also. Yeah,
This
it
is absorbed though,
I think it saves us.
but it's showing you how much it costs us.
It was absorbed, okay.
I proposed it.
I actually had a doctor's office call me. I called to make an appointment. And before she would ever make the appointment, she said, when you come here, if you're gonna use a credit card, it's an extra 4% that you have to pay today, or the day of the appointment. So, you know, here we go, yeah,
I know, so I'd rather hide it, or I hate saying hide
yeah,
it.
it's just,
Yeah, doing,
Absorb it.
absorb it, I'd rather absorb it.
just up the fee just a hair, so.
Yeah.
It'll offset it.
And each, I mean, we have a percentage that we look at, like a 70/30 is kind of how we do a split. If someone's coming into contract a program, that's a basis that we go by with all of our programs, so. Which within the 30%, that's where all the expenses are absorbed. So when they do their budgets, I don't know if you line item out the credit card, but we will. So then it could be seen, and we could, definitely. But overall, so then that's the breakdown. I think then what I'll do is I'll go back and make these changes, have discussions with the staff, and then, I don't know, we probably will have to do a special meeting. And at that time, then I could do the amendments at the same time, because I do need, as we're going forward, we need a little bit closer. It's just so hard, because, January is early when your year ends in April. So, we might have to, I can't promise you that I'm not gonna have to come back with a budget amendment in April, but we can get the majority of them out of the way.
Yep.
Which there really isn't that many, I don't think so. And we don't do budget amendments for programs. The auditors had said no, and we only need to do budget amendments for bottom line items,
Right.
unless it's like the recreation coordinator's mistake that I made. Then that's their adjustment.
Motion to
What was that?
table. Need a motion to table.
A motion, I will create a motion to table the Parks and Recreation 2026, 2027 budget until Clara can finalize some numbers and rework some things and schedule a special meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Okay,
Chad's outvoted anyway.
yeah.
Before we go, I have a quick question. What is our time limit as far as like starting new things, given that it's after 9?
I'm not going anywhere. No,
There is something actually in there about time limit, about like not starting after a certain time when.
Washington Township's got one.
yeah.
We did at one point when some of our meetings were going really, really long.
Right, I thought it was like we'd be done by 10 o'clock or. I don't know.
Okay.
well,
I mean, I
I
think
do
we can whip
know,
through I think we can whip through the rest of this and finish it off pretty quick.
Okay,
okay, so
let's go.
okay, I'm gonna go fast too.
Good.
8D, 5-year plan, the resolutions were approved last night with the additions, so
Yep.
now.
Good to go.
We're good to go and it's going.
E,
Done.
E, Citizen Connection Committee.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. I'm going to bare my soul here. This started out as an older adults advisory, and somebody created the draft. I don't know who that somebody was. Okay, I didn't know that. Hang on. Then it transitioned to a Citizen Connection Committee, which I agree with. And then you did that one too?
No.
We just changed the
You
name,
guys
right?
made
Just
it.
change the name.
They made the changes, I just typed it.
Okay, that's all right, because I don't know what's happening. Nobody's
Yeah.
talking to me.
This is not the most correct version.
Okay, thank you. That's another point.
Not?
So somehow we got to get our act together on who's doing what, when they're doing it, and what the correct and latest version is communicated to everybody at one time. 'Cause you see what I'm saying?
I thought you were in charge of that.
There's an email from the most recent.
I was in charge of the atomic bomb, and I did the
That was my
job there.
suggestions.
Of the changes.
I'm sorry, Tom, go ahead.
All right.
I did provide the comments.
Yeah, I have some of your comments, but when I look at the version that you commented on, it wasn't the one that I,
Oh, that was the most recent one that I had seen that I used to make my edits.
okay. So I guess what I'm saying is that offline, we need, the shakers and the movers need to sit together at the same time and generate a document that's ready for review by everybody, including our attorney. Otherwise, I'm confused. I don't know who's doing what and who's empowered to do what and what should be done.
Well, I think when I sent it out, at least, I'd have to go back in my email, but I think when I sent it, at least one time, I addressed you as the chair, saying, this is the draft, look it over, mark it up, and I will retype it for submission for the whole commission.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
Clearly, I didn't know it had changed from older adults to citizen connection. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to, I agree with
I
all.
understand.
It just, we need to be together as a team with one voice and one output.
Right.
Tom, I think that, I mean, we had talked about the name change and the concept of that it was
Yeah.
going to be all-inclusive at several of these meetings. I do feel like I've neglected my time that I have given, I should probably have a meeting
Yeah.
soon.
That's where I'm going next, but you
Right.
got ahead of me.
Well, let me jump and say that we can absolutely do that. There have been some things that just, it has not worked out. Not that it's not important, because it is important.
I understand, no, I'm not trying,
But-
I'm trying to be open-hearted here.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Right, because we need to talk together as a team, offline or whatever, I'll come to your office, you
I know.
call it out, and we'll do it together. Because I think it's a valuable endeavor. We have with us Tina, who's agreed to be part of the team, and she's a teacher with many years of experience, as I said. I think Mike Philbrook signed up. In fact, with all due respect, I didn't even know that the form that I found at the Washington Center, for the form to sign up, I didn't even know that was going to be there. I wasn't told about that either. So, and again, I'm not trying to be trite here. That's why I think we need to be together on this.
Well, you filled one out.
I did, but I didn't know it was going to be there.
You mean,
I filled it
Okay.
out by accident, when I discovered it by accident. Right, Deb?
Becky?
No, nobody said, oh, by the way, we're going to submit a request form. Because I would have done it differently. I would have asked that it be put in Praviti's newsletter. Maybe we should put it in that One Source magazine so that all communities can see it and we can get a larger scope of members from 5 to 7. And I listed people that I thought should be on it: social workers, caregivers, psychiatrists, teachers, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I was trying to do, is build a committee that's representative of the community and representative of a number of disciplines.
I know, but I do feel like from the beginning, we had talked about this. It was advertised, maybe the people that you want on this committee, like we need to, again, I apologize, we need to meet with the people who have already volunteered.
Yeah.
And then fill in the blanks that you want filled in. I mean, it might not be perfect as we start out, and so far,
Okay.
it's not perfect.
Yeah,
it
because
hasn't started.
Dan has provided some input on things that relate to the interlocal agreement. We don't want to do things that aren't agreed upon, is that correct? By the
Well, I
community.
raised it as a concern that it might start, that committee is limited by what the commission is limited on with respect to its purpose and hours. And so I made that comment so that you all could evaluate the draft with that in mind, recognizing the
Okay, that's
limitations of the interlocal.
All right, so what do you suggest, Claire?
So I think the first thing that we should do is we'll pick a date in January.
That's
We
fine,
will
yeah.
meet, you guys pick a date that works for you, and let's put it out there to the group of people who are interested, and meet and look at the change, look at the charges, the changes, and then bring it back in January to the next meeting. So then the charges could get approved and we can start moving forward.
Right, but I have a form that I created, and then, Phyllis, you have another one.
Okay.
We need one preliminary form, I think, or
Do you have one that on the bottom says second draft, November 21st?
I think I saw that in my email,
Yeah, that's
right
it.
here.
That's
This is it
where
right
we
here.
are with
But I did one in December, I thought I sent it.
I don't think the December one I saw.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, I thought I sent, maybe it didn't go. Okay, all right, so,
Mine was, I think, on the 12th of December.
yeah, exactly, that's what it says on the date, but I thought it was in response to the one,
12th of December?
yeah.
December 12th.
I don't think I have it.
Okay, so, do you want me to just contact you, we'll set it, and, Tina, maybe you can, I'll
Mike.
communicate with you, and Mike Philbrook agreed to join us, so that's the three of us.
I have another lady, it is being talked about, just to let you know, and that's a good thing, because I do have a caregiver that came in, and she has filled out a background check, and we just completed that this week. So we are communicating, and it is rolling forward, so maybe when you meet, everything can come together, you know?
And Becky will be meeting with us too.
I'll be there, Tom.
Because for that part.
I can help you.
So,
When we start reaching out to kids, it will be a different
okay,
program.
so let me summarize this real quick. Who are we gonna meet with? I assume that's you, Tina, Claire.
Whoever comes to
Mike,
this.
and then what documentation are we gonna use?
Well, that's what we're gonna do. The first thing that we'll do is we will look at that, we'll look at the changes that you added, we'll look at what you have.
And what
And
Dan
then-
has provided?
Correct, and then we'll bring an agreed upon that we think is good back to the commission, and the commission can agree what changes need to be
Okay.
made, and then we'll start moving forward from there.
Okay, so we got one team and one document. That's
Absolutely.
what I want. Okay, so there's no helter-skelter about it? Okay, that's great, thank you.
I'll help, Tom.
Okay, I appreciate it.
We'll bring it together.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's on record, so.
So, 8F,
where the camera is, too.
They're there.
8F is our maintenance truck. So this is the third of our maintenance plan, is to replace the maintenance truck. We did look, if you recall last time,
Yep.
I didn't know Rangers were still being made, and I went back to my knowledgeable staff, and she informed me, Lynn, you wanna come up and talk about your truck?
So our 2009 Ford Ranger needs replacing. So as you can see in your packet, there are 3 bids. The Emily City Ford will take both of our trucks, our Chevy 2015 that has 109 miles on it, and the Ford Ranger. And issues. It has transmission issues. The Chevy's just in poor shape, and they're just gonna.
Is that the one with the dump box on?
No. It was our original truck one.
Oh,
So she slips out of gear. We have some transmission things. So
get rid of it.
they're willing to work with us on both trucks to get one truck. The other dealerships will do the same thing. It's just a little bit different. Heidelberg will only take in 1 truck, won't take in 2. And then Suburban, I went through 2 salesmen, but they have not gotten back to me on bids. So, and then I did get another Ford. It was Mylan's Ford, which is down on
Yeah, Russ Milne.
Yes, 20th and Gresham. So that's where the other bid came from. The general sales manager used to be at Suburban, and he moved there, so his team was able to get me another bid for that. They're all around the same, kind of around the same pricing.
The reason you don't want a Ranger?
The reason why we can't get the new Rangers because of the bed. The bed is too long, because it's a 4-door, it's a cab, and our Ford Ranger, it needs a 6-foot bed, and so we only have like, it's a cab and like a half. The turning radius on the Ranger, because it's so small, it takes the tight turns when we have to do the fields. So it takes the tight turns to drag. We cannot do 4-wheel drive on the trucks because it sits too high, because the drag sits on the bumper. We have a bumper, or it's not sits on the bumper, but it sits on the hitch. that we have this big metal drag behind it. So if we get too high, we're not touching the dirt. Too low, we get into the dirt. We also have a heavy drag that's got spikes. So when we have to heavy drag the fields, we need it to get into the dirt. So actually, the older the Ranger, the better, but they don't make them anymore. The Mavericks would not work either because of the bed.
They make Rangers don't get in.
Yes, but they do make the Rangers, but the current Rangers won't work.
Right.
So then we went to what would work would be the F-150, a bare bones work truck without four-wheel drive, no cameras. We don't want any of that because the truck does, I don't want to say get beat on, it does get used. It's a work truck. So that would accommodate our drags. It would accommodate what we need for the bed part with our tools and stuff that we work. So that's why the F-150 would work opposing to the Mavericks, the newer Ford Rangers.
Maverick would be way too small.
Correct.
And it's also lighter, right? When it's not
So Fords are made with aluminum. So that's going to be one thing. The Chevy is a little bit heavier, so the Fords would work better. We're not too worried about getting stuck. The Ford Ranger, we have gotten stuck in the past, but I believe that's operator error, on my opinion, in some incidents on where they would take the truck to do the fields. But the Ford Ranger, or it's the aluminum a little bit lighter. Yes.
I was a technical manager for Michelin, and one of my customers was Ford Motor. And on occasion, I would buy vehicles from them for our company at greatly reduced costs. Sometimes they have miles on them. I still have some contacts at Ford. I can make some inquiries. Maybe we can get something from the Fisher test track, 34 and Fisher. That might suit your needs, and we get it at a reduced cost.
You can look into that as well.
As far as two-wheel drive, the solution to that is a dedicated snow tire. Not an all-seasons tire, but a dedicated snow tire. That's designed for traction in ice and snow. That will improve the traction, given the light loads on the rear end of the truck and the lack of a front drive axle.
Yeah.
So both of those I can help you with.
Okay, I appreciate that. So
After the meeting, let me get your contact information.
Yep.
And see what I can do. And I also might want to buy that Ranger because I build cars.
that I don't know. I don't know how that works because I have a lot of people interested in buying both of our older trucks. But again, I said I don't know how that works, to be honest with you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I'll help you.
So that,
I think with selling them, we would have to do
A bid.
a bid process.
Sure.
okay. Yeah. Like I said, the one dealership, the Emily City dealership, will take both trucks. It's like a trade-in. They're going to trade in, but I'll trade in 2 trucks to get one.
The only thing is that, and I know you said the four-wheel drive doesn't work because the truck is higher. Chevys tend to sit a lot lower. And a lot of Chevy four-wheel drive trucks, you can't even tell they're four-wheel drive.
Right.
Because they sit so low. But if you don't need it, you don't need it.
We don't need it. The truck is utilized majority of the time, March through the end of October. Then the truck sits, we do start them up, we do take them a little test ride, and then she gets parked. And she gets parked until March, till we can get back out on the
Don't
fields.
use them in the winter?
Not the ball field truck, no, we do not.
All right. I'm sorry, I thought you did.
Yeah, no, it's a ball field truck because we do 22 fields,
Okay, gotcha.
so.
I think the Ford is a better choice, but that's,
You guys are the ones using it, you tell us what you need, that's.
I mean, I confirmed with my main ball field guy, asked him what his specs are with this. He is a master mechanic from Ford. He did retire in the last year, so he's kind of got an insight, so he kind of knows his cars. So I trusted his instinct, and then he actually kind of did my leg work with me on the talking to the salesman and doing what we need. This truck would have to be ordered, so it's not like if we say, okay, we might not get it in 3 months, 4 months, no dealership can guarantee me a timeline of delivery, so.
So is this something that, in an ideal world, sooner rather than later?
I mean, the truck, we could probably get another year out of it, maybe. I mean, she's she's running at 75,000 miles and she's dusty and, she shows her age. She's 2009. But, we've had to do we keep up on our oil changes. We've had some body work done to her, but the transmission seems to be doing good. Brakes, we have done some tires on it. But she, I guess, I call her the baby truck. So, we can look at, if we have to wait, we can wait. It's not like she's going to fall apart, but it's something that we will eventually need.
Would there be any benefit to keeping that particular truck in addition to getting a new one and just often the one that's got transmission trouble?
Yeah, so if we were to, right now we have two 24 Chevy, we have 24 of the Chevy trucks. We have 2 of those right now. We do have the dump truck. The Chevy would go, it would just be an extra truck for use. That,
I'm just asking if you need.
Yeah,
We used to run with 3, now we have 4.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to keep the dump truck.
Right.
Yeah.
Only 5, and not that one anyways.
No.
But we can't keep one, because it's,
One, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting anybody behind that wheel. It slips out of gear and,
Right, yeah, I was just saying
and
off.
she's got a flat tire right now, but, yeah, so, but, if we needed it, yeah, it would probably sit more than anything,
Well, then get rid of it.
but then we would, yeah.
but the dump truck is.
Dump truck that is utilized quite a bit, especially in the spring and summer months. And actually, it gets used now because it's ideal for garbage right now. So,
I see Richard in the morning.
yes. Richard is very familiar with the dump truck.
Yep.
So then, the one that she wanted was, or if it's gonna get approved.
And just to clarify, the 41,000 for Emily City, then, or almost 42,000, you'd get 2,000 back for the.
Correct. And in that too, the sales lady hadn't worked with so the taxes are in there, so taxes will come out of that as well.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, I've never done this before. I'm like, well, we're not going to get any taxes on it. So it's my first time trying to figure that out too. So the taxes in that bid would come out as well.
Okay.
And yes, she would give us $1,000 for each of the trucks.
So it would be probably 3,800, which,
Somewhere around there. She said there are some rebates. It all depends. Things could change
Yeah.
depending on what they're running and once we order and stuff like that. She goes, I can't guarantee, but it wouldn't be any, she's like, it wouldn't go up thousands of dollars than what it's there. If anything, it'd be somewhere around there or lower, give or take a few thousand. That's what kind of each dealership said, because everyone runs different rebates at different times of the month.
and this is this month that you got these?
Yes, yep. She said she would honor that, and then the other ones, they came in like a couple weeks ago, yep.
You know why the small amount for the 2015? She's only giving you 1,000 for each one, right?
Correct.
2015, it seems kind of low for 2015.
Yeah, the Chevy is, she's in rough shape.
Yeah.
We have rust everywhere. It's beat up quite a bit. She actually, we showed pictures of it and stuff like that. I think the Ranger would hold more value than the Chevy, but the Chevy is,
That's the one that's slipping, wasn't it?
yeah, it's beat up. It's got 109,000 miles on it, more than any of the other trucks that we have.
I'd like to make a motion to have a Merry Christmas for Parks and Rec. And I'd like to make a motion to purchase the truck from Emily City Ford for $41,925 minus taxes, which
And
I'm
trade-in.
assuming. What's that?
And the trade-in.
And the trade-in.
Should you make it a little bit, or is it when you order it, that's the price?
I think.
Or sometimes you do that.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it might vary from that because that's what it is now. And she said if there's rebates, it could be lower depending on the deals that come in. We do have a staff member that does have a forward plan. If he chooses to give us that, it would even be lower.
Okay.
But I would have to ask if that would
Would you
But it
say
would
be a
go
possibility.
down.
42?
Correct.
It would go down.
It would go down, but I mean, I don't see it going up much of anything because it's a bare bones truck really, because we wanted it to our specs and that's what.
So what would
Make
you,
it not to exceed.
not to exceed 41,000? Is that 42,000? Okay, so I'll modify that to 42,000, not to exceed 42,000 for the purchase of the, what kind of truck is it? The
F-150?
F-150 from Emily City Ford.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Matthews,
Yes, or approve, support.
Mr. Billet,
Yes.
Ms. Duda,
Yes.
Mr. Karas,
Yes.
and Ms. Gibbs.
Yes.
Okay, so 8D are just updates. We kind of already talked about one source. It's good. We are looking at other printing companies because we did have some issues. Romeo Printing was very good through all the issues that had happened. So they are looking at the back person. So between the library or the people who are doing the administrative, we'll look at that. And but overall, it was a big success, so that's good.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of positive comments.
Yeah.
from people here.
Good.
You
And
know,
I
we
think
hand
it's,
them out, every person that comes in to pay their taxes.
hopefully everybody got one in their mailbox.
Yeah,
I
but-
did.
I did.
But you know, a lot of stuff like that comes in the mail and people set it aside. They don't think it's sunk in yet that
Yeah.
it's
Right.
from us.
It's not like when they frame our Parks and Rec one. when it
Yes,
used to go
that's
on its own. Our ice rink, so our synthetic ice rink is in, that will be up underneath the Bruce Township Pavilion. We're, the plan is to put the water, the regular ice rink, we're gonna try it inside the tennis courts, on the north end of the tennis courts. So we put lights on, but only till like 8 PM. There won't be any bouncing balls. But it might be nice, but it has to go in front of planning and zoning tomorrow. For permission.
At Washington?
At Washington.
Okay.
So, well, tomorrow is today. Today it's going in front of, yeah, sorry. Yeah. The,
Is there a reason for that?
oh, I'm not exactly sure. I was a little shocked, but
So it went to pre-plan.
pre-planning, and hopefully I will get. I've never had to do that for an ice rink or anything like that, so I don't know if they're crossing, I don't really know exactly.
They're-
but there are a lot of
They're
rules.
buying records.
Okay.
So, but ideally, as we had talked about, once the pavilion is up at Gilcher, it would be great if we can put the ice rink underneath Gilcher, so it has a roof. And that's really it. I want to wish you all Merry Christmas too.
Okay, thank you, you too. God bless you.
We're not even close to that
Oh,
yet.
well, hurry up, everybody.
All right. Unfinished business, Washington Agreement. We spoke about that earlier in closed session.
Yes.
And
Agreed to move forward with drafting an agreement?
yes,
Yes.
that's your motion.
It's a motion? I need to make a motion for that?
You don't need to make a motion? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Romeo Community Schools Agreement?
Delayed till January due to last week's snow day, because that was when our meeting was.
Yep. All right. Community comments. Yep. Commission comments. Got anything to say?
Let's say it all together.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Anything to say?
I think, well, first of all, thank you all for letting me be part of the group. I'm, honestly, I'm deeply honored. Pardon me?
I said you're welcome. I mean,
Thank you.
it's great that you do this.
You know, I'm on the county Older Adults Advisory Committee, and I was on the board of directors of Ageways, nonprofit senior service. I learned a lot about the needs of our seniors, and it's even more so than the needs of all of our citizens from young to old. we are building in our society now synthetic relationships that I think are not good. And by synthetic, I mean things like an AI relationship that is not the same as of us sitting around here talking to each other, and will never be the same. And I think it's dangerous to the future of our society. So this social connection, citizen connection committee, I want to tell you I'm proud that we're doing this, because I don't think there's too many communities that are taking this action. And although we're getting a little bit of a confused start here, we're going to straighten that out. But I think when all the smoke clears, we can be proud of what we're doing here. Believe me, because at 79 years old, I'm closer to the end than I am the beginning. And I want to leave this earth having done something for the next guy.
Tom, did you happen to watch last night's township board meeting?
No, I had a,
Okay,
sorry
no,
to say this, I had a
there was
colonoscopy yesterday.
The township.
Come on.
Thanks for sharing, Tom. Sounds good that you missed the meeting.
Wow. Washington Township received a dog who is trained in security and whatever, not drugs. He's not a drug dog. The other dog they have.
Like a support
The
dog?
sheriff. No, he's for, like security and
Oh, okay.
chasing down criminals if necessary, things like that. But he's part of what is called the SAVES program, SAVES, through the Macomb County Sheriff. And they have a program through that where residents can fill out a form noting if they have, like you with your child, okay? Or they use a walker, or they use a cane, or whatever the disability or illness or issue might be, you put it on this form, and they generate a QR code that goes on your walker, on your wheelchair, whatever. And so one of the examples they brought up is a senior who may go out of the house unattended and lose their way. So they're walking with their walker or their cane, or they're in their scooter, whatever it may be, and this thing's got the QR code on it. So the police can go and do the QR code and find out exactly who they are and who their emergency contact is. And I just think it's a really neat thing.
Wait, what does that have to do with the dog?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ruin
Giving
this.
us the dog is part of the SAVES program.
Oh, okay, all right,
Okay,
okay.
it's all through the Macomb County Sheriff's Department. And it's on their website, he said, but I just thought that would be something that this committee could get the forms, have a bunch of forms, and then as people sign up and are interested in our committee.
That's great.
So I thought you might want to contact the Sheriff's Department
Yeah,
and see what you can do with them.
okay, that's fine. We'll always look for new ideas.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Just Merry Christmas.
You good?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good? All right. Well, yeah, Merry Christmas, and thank everybody for all of their hard work and everything that you guys do at Parks and Rec.
I have another thought. I'm going to run this by you guys. You can throw a rock at me if you like. I essentially work for Commissioner Ken Goyke. He's one of the 13. I would like to invite him to one of our meetings. I think he needs to see what's going on with this Park and Rec, because I think we have a great organization here, somewhat unique in the fact that we have multiple communities with a variety of talents. Is that, would that be okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him if he, because this is his district.
Yeah.
And my contention is he should know what's going on in his district, even if he makes a cursory courtesy appearance to introduce himself to us and for us to know him and him to know us, because the time may come when we might need his help. So I'm going to invite him to come to one of our meetings. Okay. If I get a response, a definitive response, I'll so communicate to you. Perfect. Right. That's good.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.